might just do that.
Do what?
What is that noise?
Oh, fire.
Ah, okay.
Fire, bad.
Bear with me. I need to go to the toilet.
Fire.
I just sat back down. I just did all of this.
Don't
Infernal,
sigh.
Infernal, you're
I'm gonna be
playing Path
listening.
of Exile. I see you playing that.
I'm going to be listening.
No.
There's only one
I
other
see you playing it, Infernal.
There's only one other person besides me in tabletop, so.
Yeah, I know. I will say this. Infernal, if you prefer not to be here, you want to go play Path of Exile?
It doesn't say Path of Exile next to me. Next to his name on my thing.
That's for me.
Am I playing Path of Exile, Chris? Can you tell me?
Oh, you're updating it. Well, then close it. I also see that list of items back there.
Yeah, I'm looking at stuff. Am I not allowed to look at stuff?
No, D&D comes first.
Potatoes.
You can look at potatoes in your spare time.
Oh, I don't. I look at it all the time.
Speaking of looking at potatoes, I'm gonna have dinner soonish, I think.
Everyone's just naffing off.
I might go bake.
I mean, this is very consistently a thing.
Yeah, I'll go
No,
make
I know it's fine with you. It's just like I start the session, I go on to my regular startup. Sam's like, alright, I'm out, and then Sam gets back.
I was
Simon,
not
alright,
straight
I'm
up.
out.
All right, I'm out. I just went. Oh, I'm gonna go to the toilet now. I'm gonna let them know before the session actually starts.
But it did.
Oh, so this has all been caught on. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
going to unmute my mic while I was in the bathroom.
Oh no.
Well, that would have been.
That would have been interesting.
An adventure.
Anyway, hello and welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with Sudz,
Potato.
Sam,
Potato.
Simon,
Hello.
Jamie,
Oh.
Uwu.
and Infernal.
Not so.
Not Uwu.
Counter Uwu.
It's like, oh no, he's counted my Uwu. Damn.
We have no Harlan at the moment. He may join us later. He may not. We don't know. He'll keep me informed. That's all there is to say on that. I need to get my dice. That might help.
No, you don't. Don't need dice.
Look, I've got my controller for 30XX over there, and it's currently sat on top of my dice. There we go.
For 30XX.
Yeah, it's a good game. Currently, it's in alpha, and there are quite a few bugs, but it is a good game.
The game doesn't have bugs.
I mean, this one has a lot more than usual. Like, you want to
More
take an
than the
upgrade? The
accepted
game
amount.
crashes.
Oh, fair.
Anyway.
Oh,
Yes.
game breaking bugs. Wonderful. My
Game
favourite.
breaking bugs. Yeah, it's in alpha, so it's to be expected. Anyway, we're playing D&D. So, usual announcements. Thank you to Sasha for all the artwork. Thank you to Tabletop Audio for providing all the music and sound and all of that wonderful stuff. Yeah, this is the Tabletop Simulator, and all of the maps now, with the exception of this one, which I'll be getting rid of at some point, are made on Incarnate.com, including their new sparkly tavern. I finally got around to making it. It's all done. You can go check it out on my Incarnate page. I do take commissions. I do not charge anything, but I do take commissions. That's a bad business practice. Yes, I know. But if you want a map and I'm bored, I'll make it for you. Provided it's a battle map. Scenic maps are too much time.
I need a map with potatoes.
You can make that
So
yourself.
now what we need to do, guys, is renovate the entire tavern so it doesn't look like this.
You do that,
Right,
and
okay.
I'm just gonna go. All right, let's solve the problem. Skin-Scribe attacks Adamanthia, cast Meteor Swarm, but all of them hit your tavern.
I'm
Okay.
not paying for the.
Now,
I'm not paying
Chris,
for that.
I must say that you cannot be hurt by multiple meteors in a meteor swarm at once.
No, but that's creatures. These are buildings.
Damn you, sir! You've gotten through the technicality of it all.
This technically means that because a corpse is an object, it can be obliterated by multiple meteors.
Wait, hold on.
Oh, wow.
Aw.
This
I
was
w-
a-
I want to keep my garden, damn it.
Hmm?
I didn't do it. I want to keep my garden.
Well, we'll find out depending on if the party decides to renovate their entire tavern.
I think the only tie I've got to the tavern is my skull collection, so I
Yeah.
could just collect them and then get the hell out of there, and it's no loss to me.
Only thing I have is RD.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm still
And
learning.
you know, Abod, who holds a bunch of your stuff, and you know, Gree and your commissions with him.
They're not in the tavern.
No, but they're nearby.
Oh, hang on. Hold the phone. Who did I give that goddamn stupid fucking book that's going to ruin my life to?
You've still got it, haven't you?
You still have it on you.
I don't have it on me. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure I gave
Abod's got
to
it.
Abod. Okay.
Oh
cool.
yeah, Abod got it.
Excellent. Okay, let's not kill him. I don't want to die.
Oh, good fun. But yes, so Crabby D&D. Let's carry on with this. Last session, our party of adventurers, after making their way to the Barrenlands and meeting with the Queen of the Barrenlands face to face, a little bit of violence ensued afterwards, along with a few lessons to be taught to Malcom. With the events escalating somewhat within the courtroom, the party decided that they were going to go and rest for a bit, leave Malcom to his business and allow him to carry on with what needed to be done and learn what he was going to be taught. After the intense fight, Malcom was taken to the Endless Waterfalls, and there he otherwise attained levels of druidism, inherited down amongst his family, and the art of longer living. With this, and otherwise spending one of his own years to achieve this, the party went to a tavern, and some of them got rather drunk in a little bit of a shot competition
Don't know what you're on about.
Lies.
with the Dead Man's Brew. A wonderful concoction devised for making people smashed very quickly. And the party soon found this out, as three of them were head down on the table, unable to respond to any conscious command from Queglod or Sasha. With each of them being dragged up to their respective rooms, and the parting bedding down for the night, the next day begins. The outside world is otherwise quiet, and as you arrive out into the otherwise nicely laid out tavern, your goblin tavern keep otherwise wanders over with plates of food and begins placing them down. Steaks and similar things you had ordered the previous night. Either reheated or remade, it's unsure. But he places them on the table as each of you wake up and sit around the table for the early hour of the morning. Three of you, in particular, can feel a heavy beat in the back of their head, a soreness behind the eyes, and a very warm sensation that wraps across your face.
I feel great pain.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel the great pain?
Yes.
Do you feel it overtaking you?
Well, yes.
This is
I
not
need
a good
food.
pain.
I need food. I don't know. What happened to the bottle?
You look around, you don't see it anywhere.
Probably took it from us.
Okay.
They took our bottle.
That was easy, like an entire bottle. I mean, I had one, you had one. It was like,
Did they take both the bottles?
maybe.
Queglod otherwise, given that Simon's going for food, Queglod gets up and wanders back up to her room. As Sasha is otherwise asleep, as you four gents are otherwise left eating, as Malcom, you look around the rest of your companions, they're hungover, and you've seen bad hangovers before with some people you've stayed with when you were down in the Undercity of Adamanthia. Each of these three look like death, like completely blank white faces, a smell of acidity about them, and they don't look great.
Now, it may be the hangover, but Malcom,
Yes.
you look older.
That's not the hangover.
What?
How long were we out for?
You weren't here when I got here.
I am not touching that alcohol again.
No, no.
You look
It was dark
significantly
before.
older.
Okay, right. I don't remember much of the 3 shots we did, but I remember that Bern was the one putting pressure on us to keep drinking.
Looks at Bern.
It's your fault.
There is a bartender, right?
No.
There is a
I feel like
bartender,
the
yeah.
Prince of Blood is dancing the jig in my head.
Can I go over to him?
You get up and leave these three kind of babbling to one another in a bad stupor. You go over to me, otherwise just leaning over the edge of kind of the countertop. He has a book in front of him and a pair of specs. He goes, "Hey, what can I get you?"
I explained the recipe that I know for the thing to help with hangovers to him.
Hey,
He think I can get 3 of those.
that's not gonna help with Dead Man's Brew. That stuff's dangerous.
What will help with it?
Nothing. They gotta wait it out. Not even water or food will help.
But the bacon tastes so
And
good.
I'm stuck
Why?
with it. Very. Oh,
You're gonna have to put up with them.
Ah.
Don't let them take 3 shots again. It's not too bad if they take 1, but when they take more than that, it gets a bit dangerous.
I'm just wondering.
Ow.
Do you know what happened to the bottle that they had?
2.
He kind of leans in.
2 bottles.
He'll lean in as you 3 are having pounding headaches. You can't hear this. As
Oh,
you're,
no. We are sensitive to all sound.
Yeah, pin drop and we're screaming.
he otherwise leans in and just goes, "Your 2 friends took him. Said it was bad for him."
Can I make a perception check?
If
Go ahead and make one with disadvantage for me, please, because you are.
Yeah, I figured the
under-
disadvantage was coming in.
Yeah.
Filtering any sound, I don't think is necessary. That is a... Oh,
That's not bad.
that's not bad at all. That is a dirty 20.
Wow.
Okay, so you hear it. Yeah. Passive perceptions of the rest of you wouldn't be able to catch this, just because it's.
Sasha, you bitch.
Sasha?
Malcolm listens over. Well, that one knows.
It's fine.
Elf ears, I hear a lot.
Yeah, goblin ears do the same.
Elsyan, what are you saying?
I'm not gonna tell you.
If you were going to, I was going to turn you
No,
into chicken.
No. If no, because you kept a secret from me. Without a skull, all right. I'm keeping this secret,
Ah, fair.
and for some reason, I've got a really raspy throat.
It'll do that
Elsyan.
to you.
Is that what happened to your voice, mate?
No, I'm just a goblin.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, I do apologise. I feel like I was
Us big
accidentally
goblin.
racist.
You were. But you're on a
Yeah.
guest, so I can't kick you out for it.
I apologise. I don't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's fine.
That's better, but my head still is dreadful.
It will be for the next few hours.
Now, okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, Elsyan just pulls like his cloak over his eyes. Ah, yes. No light into the eyes.
As you kind of pull your cloak over, the light blue on the inside begins to ever so slightly glow, glistening on the inside. It's not bright light. It's soft,
Doesn't matter.
almost like nightlight.
You haven't had a hangover, have you, Chris?
No, I haven't.
No. Any light hurts.
Oh,
Any light.
fun.
Meanwhile, Malcolm's tempted to go over and like stick his staff underneath the cloak and
Cuts light.
daylight. Use daylight.
I will illusory dragon this place.
You better not.
Then he
Hey,
better
this
not
was
cast
going on in the
daylight.
This was going on in Malcolm's head. You can't read Malcolm's mind.
If
You're
anyone
not
can,
a
I
mystic
can.
anymore. You're not a
I
mystic
can-
anymore.
Fight me.
Telepathy still exists, so they just added
Yeah,
it in a different
well-
form.
Yeah, I just don't have telepathy anymore, no. Well, I don't.
You do,
No.
but
I don't.
Not-
I've got the
not
spell,
that
but it's a 7th.
yeah.
It's a 7th level spell slot. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Actually, no, that's telekinesis.
that's telekinesis. Telepathic contact is a I think it's like a 6th level. Anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
your friends will recover there.
I was hoping that would help, but oh well. Malcolm's gonna go back over and eat.
Okay. You eat your meals, otherwise resting up. Queglod and Sasha haven't come down yet.
Bastards.
But
I bet they're up there drinking alcohol.
the day, the day is yours.
Right,
Is there anything anyone would like to achieve?
No more hangover.
I would like to finish my spell if that is possible.
Okay.
I'd like to finish my medallion. first
Ah.
before I start.
Okay, Queglod comes back down with Sasha. I'd say at this point.
How
Okay.
drunk do they look?
Make me an insight check with disadvantage because of your hangover, please.
Where's my mouse? There's my mouse.
You. Elsyan says, scowling at Queglod.
That
You
is 11
took it.
plus insight, which is 6.
Okay, so 17. You're doing really well with disadvantage, you guys.
I was gonna say that alcohol was magical. Not only does it give a disadvantage, but damn, it makes you roll high. I think I might just be intoxicated all of the time.
Okay. Well, it's not too bad with kind of looking at Queglod and Sasha. They don't look drunk, but I don't know. For you, it's kind of a little warbly.
But the entire world is warbly.
Mhm.
Now the question is, you can't. Now the thing is, you can't tell if they're wobbly or if your vision is.
That much is true. The stairs are also wobbly.
Okay.
To answer your question, Chris, I want to sleep off this hangover,
Okay.
and then go talk. Then invite the rest later once drums have stopped. Do we want to go like talk to an old Dawn Marshal?
Sure. I mean, why not? It's not like I've got anything else to do. I
Which
also
one?
want to talk to you guys. But
Halfling. Sam couldn't find his notes and doesn't actually think he's got her name written down, so he's gonna feel bad.
Sam.
He's also drunk.
He is drunk.
Sam, I am
Well,
not drunk.
hungover.
I've just got a rum and coke.
Hey. Happy.
Then after that, it stops. And I get normal drinks. But that's when the vodka starts.
It's like getting normal drinks. Vodka. Just
It
need
depends.
vodka.
Depends where in the world you are.
That's true.
And as I'm secretly in Russia. Shit. Where's the button? Let it slip. Blows up Shoal Heath. Nothing of value was lost.
Wow!
Apart from you, Chris. And my aunt, uncle, and cousin. But it's mainly...
Just expose me to the internet where I am, don't worry, don't you?
Oh, I apologise. I thought we've had this conversation
Where now?
before on the internet.
It's fine.
In Gotham.
In Gotham,
yes.
yeah.
Sounds
It's
about
fine.
right.
I'll just do what happened in the last session, which is I'll just have a giant beep section where something comes up.
Did you actually do that?
No, I didn't. I couldn't be
Aw.
bothered because I was going out, so I was like, nah. I can't
Yeah,
bother.
fair. But oh god.
But yeah. So. Okay, so I'll say that 3 of you are otherwise spending some time kind of sleeping it off. Malcolm, you're spending some time just. I'll say, given your ability to be able to free roam, where would you like to go to begin continuing the progression of your spell?
How about I commune with nature first, and then see if I can find a spot that feels particularly strong per se, and then go there.
Okay. Okay, so using communion with nature and kind of getting a general idea of where might be strong. The Barrenlands itself has like a natural residue of magic. You've known this for a long time. You feel that quite a lot of the area around here does radiate some level of natural magic to a certain degree, but a lot of the residue of kind of a natural connection to nature seems to be more comforting the further up you go. So the current height that you're currently at is decent, and because you're only like one away from the top. But if you went to one of the higher up balconies, you'd be able to get like a kind of a good feel for the rest of the world around you.
How about I just go as high as I can?
So on top of the city itself.
Sure, why not? That actually sounds pretty cool.
Okay. You otherwise head up to the top of the city itself. It doesn't have a flat section per se, but it does have a section where you find like just a nice foothold, and you otherwise lean up against the back, and in all direction you can see the stretching savannah and the desert in various directions. Rocks and trees scattered across the horizon, various flying creatures fly by. A few individuals come to check on you at various points, and you begin to kind of see some of the flying individuals. You see giant vultures being ridden by Tazuki as they kind of patrol the area somewhat. As you look out, you can see the expansive area around, people either hunting or herding in large packs. It's a nice sight, but you spend some time here working, kind of crumbling incense and sending it off to the wind as it ever so lightly burns and mystifies. And you feel the connection as you begin to work through and connect to the spell that you're otherwise making. We'll work on rolling that all off stream, but I'll assume it's finished. Assume it's finished for the given time.
Okay.
Okay. Queglod, is there anything you'd like to do while the rest of your party's sleeping up for now?
So I wanted to finish up the Medallion of Flight, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
I had 4 hours to go on making that.
Okay. You can get that done while the party sleeps.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, just having that done before the before everything else starts would be good.
Will you be finding a station for it, or will you just be doing it freehand?
I'll go look for a station, see if they have anything in the city.
Okay. If you'd like to give me an investigation check.
Oh. I believe that is a +7.
Okay.
Yes.
As you explore around the city, kind of using Felipe to a certain degree, being the only halfling here is very strange. There's a lot of people who they look at you as kind of standing out, but it's nothing unacceptable as you do wander around and kind of people are used to it. There is at one point that a small group does come and like confront you. They don't necessarily seem to be guards, but they're not civilians either. They're some form of like in between section or clan or bodyguards or something similar. Upon which you note that one of the individuals among them, a lizard folk, otherwise wanders up to you, kind of blue scaled, orders the others to kind of stand down, and you see before you the lizard folk before you, the one who is in the courtroom, as he otherwise stands before you, just kind of his spear planted in the ground. Sorry if they gave you any trouble.
It's quite alright. I'm looking for a place around here I can do some enchanting work.
Not really my specialty. If you're going to try anywhere, usually that sort of stuff will be higher in the city rather than down here. But if you're looking for something more connected, depending on where your magic dwells from, lower does hold the citadels.
What can I find in the citadels?
You'll find
Places of research.
places
Or
of
worship?
religious sect and research, yes.
That does sound worth checking out then to begin with. Depending on what sort of things they have there. I assume something like this would be fairly difficult to miss. No, I don't know the right
To
layer.
a degree. It'll mostly be getting access, which will be the issue. He looks over to kind of one of his men, calls him over. If you'd like to go to the sect, he'll guide you there and get you access. You are here under Malcolm's command and respect.
Alright, thank you.
He nods and otherwise leaves you with the lizard folk guard, who otherwise stands and just goes, "Shall we be going then?"
Yes, let's head off. As we're going, how much would I know about worship of the Raven Queen in this part of the world?
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't assume over much, but
You don't know anything about the Barren Lands when it comes to its religious stuff. The only thing that you do know is that the Wingless didn't reach far outside of the Highlands. They only really, because of the side you were on, the extent of their reach was mostly in the Highlands, with little sects and kind of building sections that set themselves up in the Empire. Going the opposite way to the Barren Lands, they had to go past the fortresses. To get past those gets to the point of questionable motive, and kind of religious organizations don't necessarily get too far. For one reason or another, you're not sure. But as you move down into the underground area, the citadels, you see the underground area of here, unlike the rest of the city, which is otherwise a mostly kind of tangled mess of bridges made of this mud and dirt, with kind of nodule, like spherical housing for various people. The underground section of this has massive pillars, probably anywhere between 60 to 80 feet wide in diameter across. Several of these huge carved pillars that otherwise rise up, forming this very large and open chamber. And among them you see more of these nodules kind of in clusters along the ceilings in various places, and other buildings, ones that have been built rather than naturally formed by the creatures that once lived here. More of a excavation project, if you will. You see a large number of pits where you can see creatures otherwise linger, and you see large ramps oft that lead up into the surface with massive streams of light beaming down into this lower area, lighting it up. With the mix of the mushrooms and the natural lanterns down here, it's an interesting sight to behold, but it's very open down here, and there aren't too many people down here either. The lizard folk leads you off to one section, to one of these kind of more open buildings, and as he otherwise leads you through, you look around on the interior of here, and you see a large collection of religious iconography. You see several altars and icons, idols, and other places of worship for several gods. Many that you do recognize, including one to Raven Queen, one to End, but the most prominent ones are the ones to the draconic deities. Turan, Selensir, Melazong, and Tunari, the 4 prime dragon deities. Outside of that, you just look around and you kind of take in all of this, and there are a lot of sculptures and idols here of religions you don't recognize outside of the Highlands and outside of the Empire. Having the most experience of those, there are gods that do exist, ones that are more discreet, ones that do not have the same kind of power or cling to certain regions of the world. This seems to have its own in some respect.
Okay. But there is an area that is dedicated to the Raven Queen.
Yes, there is an altar otherwise carved out of stone, with the kind of the full statue figure of the Raven Queen draped in a dark cloak covered in raven's feathers. A basic and otherwise kind of pointed stone mask on the front, just looking out in a large and otherwise imposing form, and on the altar next to her you see the form of End, a skeletal form, humanoid with a large scythe otherwise hung over his shoulder, with a hand otherwise outstretched.
Okay. Alright, if there's not a lot of people around here, then suppose I will just sit down and get to work.
Okay.
I don't know how. If there's not a lot of, like... how would you say? If it's basically just an altar, I'm not sure that this would be that much more effective than a standard area to do the enchanting, but I'm sure it's not going to be too difficult anyway.
Okay. You otherwise kind of go up to it. The area around here has the altar in front of you, has the statue behind it, and otherwise there are a number of mats around the area surrounding you with kind of stone plates in front of them. Somewhere to kneel and otherwise place your head or place offerings of some form. So, places to rest yourself, to kind of either sit or kneel in front of an altar. Doing so, you otherwise kneel down, I take it, given that would be the easiest way to do this. You kneel down, place the components in front of you, and as you kind of begin to focus, you feel a channel of energy. One that, as a warlock, you felt similarly before whenever you cast any given spell, but you feel it a lot stronger here. The religious connection to this place reminds you a lot of being in Blackhold or even being back home. This is a religious area, but you also recognize something as you kind of look around. It feels magical in some degree.
Do I get a sense of what kind of magic, or...?
Would you like to pop Detect Magic?
Sure.
Okay. Popping Detect Magic, a wreath of colours begins to form across the flooring here, across the walls and across each of the statues. The area around here is composed of a hallow for each of these deities, each one connected and woven together to form this kind of unified blanket of magic. This area is well connected, well structured and well made, almost tapping into this same sort of magical wreath. It's very comforting to know this. You sit down, you concentrate, you focus on your spell, and you otherwise finish it. Taking up the medallion, you see that imprinted on the surface of it is now the kind of a magical essence of the fly spell. The lizard folk has left you to your tasks, and the rest of the party back at the tavern is now recovering around midday. You feel groggy, but better.
Does your head still hurt, Rook?
A little bit. Yeah. Still, don't know where the bottles went.
Sasha and Queglod took them.
But I'm never getting that back if Queglod's got it. That's never happening.
I'll get you the one from Sasha.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that, you know,
I
the
think
sensible ones have taken. Well, one of the sensible ones have taken it.
the sensible one.
Yeah. Fair. No. I mean, heck, see what we do with it. Alright, so where is everyone? Did anyone pick up where they were going?
Not a clue.
From what I understand, one of your lot, the shortest one, Queglod, I think she said her name was, she's gone looking for somewhere to enchant. Sasha's gone on a wander around town, said she was going to go look for something interesting to find. And, Malcolm's gone somewhere, said he wanted to go outside.
It's just Malcolm in around then.
They abandoned you three here.
That
Well,
makes sense.
yeah, it does. It does.
I was okay. Is that now? I know natural magic is the main thing in this city, but is there anywhere that will sell scrolls that I can copy?
You're talking about arcane things? Not really, no.
Yeah, no little shop that is in the corner somewhere.
Not to my knowledge, no.
I'll go
You're
have
more
a
than welcome
look.
to look, but we don't get that much arcanery around here. We do get the occasional wild magic folk, but
They don't
outside of
count.
outside of that, we don't get much else.
Okay. Let's go have an explore. It's gonna be a spell scroll that I can copy somewhere in this city.
I have nothing other to do. I'll come with. I need
Yeah.
to talk to the Queen at some point.
Okay, you can do that on your own.
Yeah, I figured it probably would be that.
No, I will actually join you. Mainly just because
I
someone
don't know
needs
if I
to...
feel comforted with you joining.
Don't worry. I'll come with you. I'll keep my mouth shut, and then if you get killed, I will just report it back to the rest of the group.
Fair.
Hey, Bern, want to explore us? Want to join us for exploring the city?
Please don't explore me. This is my blood, not yours.
You're quiet.
You're incredibly quiet.
I would not like to explore your blood right now.
But would you like to come explore the city?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we might find something interesting.
Fair.
Alright, so what's the first point of order you're taking?
Well, I guess it's gonna be look for anywhere with spells. So
Yeah. Just wander around, like head to like the main area where any sort of magic is, and then look in back alleys, because I feel that's where any arcanery will be. Just a
Okay.
shady back alley wizard.
Okay. I would like each of you to roll investigation checks with disadvantage, please.
Disadvantage, fair enough. Let's see if I can find something stupid.
investigation. That's +6 as well. So
That's a
is.
13.
I've got
and-
16.
Yes.
And Bern?
Bern?
He's unconscious.
He's unconscious, got it. Okay.
He's flaked out again.
Yep.
He's a little man. Can't you pick him up and carry him?
I guess I could.
He found an extra bottle.
I'll hold him by the legs and just hoik him over my
My
shoulder.
back's are
Oh, it's fine. I don't have to hoik him over my shoulder anymore.
Investigation check with disadvantage if you're going to help them look for.
Just in case, because I'd like to see what random spells I can find.
Oh wow!
Biggie. Ooh, that's nice.
That is.
okay. That's the best roll of the night, I think.
What?
Yeah.
And disadvantage, natural 20 and 19.
Okay,
That's really
right,
good.
guys,
What's the total?
There has to be a. Oh, sorry. I'll let.
That's a +2, so 21.
21. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, a natural 20 on disadvantage has to be possible at some point, because I've already seen natural ones with advantage today, so it's got to balance out at some point.
I will say, throughout this campaign, I've rolled natural ones with advantage 3 times.
It happens weirdly often, doesn't it?
I know, it's annoying. But anyway, as you're kind of looking around, you look around the streets, you look around like all the markets, you don't find anything. For the first 2 hours, you're just wandering around, kind of getting a look. You eventually relocate with each other, and you don't seem to have found anything.
Do we see anything interesting while we're just walking around anyway? Not
While you're
necessarily.
walking around, the things that you do find places of kind of natural energy, and you find individuals that are forming otherwise not necessarily meditation clubs, but you do see individuals kind of relaxing in small, kind of otherwise grassy areas with trees, and kind of a relaxing kind of Zen garden in the middle of some of these kind of pocketed areas. You see large marketplaces with individuals selling a lot of foods that you haven't seen before. Blood oranges, mangoes, things that you wouldn't have typically tried or experienced. you may have in the Elven Kingdoms experienced some of these, but from this far north and otherwise the opposite side of the world to you, it's a very different. This might be a very different experience. Also, traveling around, you see a lot of kind of artisan stations that are in place around here. Most of them are either blacksmiths, leather workers, or woodworkers for the most part. That's the general thing that you get from around this area. And you see a lot of stables and individuals taking care of animals here. It's kind of a big part of the culture to have an animal of some form in this area.
Interesting.
As you're wandering around, kind of getting a look through back alleys, as you're otherwise wandering around, just seeing what kind of things there are. Bern, you kind of wander, you take a step, you pause, and you kind of just turn your head. And you kind of feel a strange sense as you otherwise reach into your pocket.
My pocket.
Your pocket.
And as you kind of feel around, you pull this piece of card out, and you see that Osbone's location is Stalag Nest.
What?
What? Just.
Where?
You kind of pause, and then you kind of look to one down the alleyway again, and you see in a much smaller, almost like confession booth-like tent, you see the blue outline and the gold-rimmed section of Osbone's tent.
Okay.
No. No. We find this is someone else with a very similar-looking tent.
I don't have to go horrible,
Rook?
potentially. Yeah?
Think we found Osbone.
But he's... What?
He's there. Look at.
Huh.
That's his tent, right?
I guess so. Well, let's go down and
Say
have
hello.
a look. Yeah. He'll probably have some magic stuff as well.
We lucked out there.
Yeah.
As you otherwise wander down the back alley and you see the small tent, you otherwise kind of look in, and it expands up to the larger interior that you are used
Right.
to.
Okay. He's TARDISing it. Gotcha.
As you kind of otherwise step
Right.
in, the ground around here mimics that of the ground outside. It is kind of the same kind of dirt exterior, but otherwise you can see extravagant rugs that have been placed along the various tables with weapons and magical gear around the place. And Elsyan, with your newfound knowledge of wizardry, you see that there is a beautiful scroll rack that has been placed on one portion of the tent area. You get a look around and you see Osbone in his kind of deep blue robes, the white bone mask that otherwise covers his face, and as you enter, he reaches over, grabs his chalkboard, writes down a few things, and then he turns it around, and you see that it reads, "I thought you'd be here."
Huh.
Fancy that.
Did we
Neat.
find you, or did you find us?
He writes
Yes.
down. He kind of rubs it all out and then proceeds to write again, and he kind of turns it around and goes, and you see that it's written on the front of it, "A bit of both."
Oh, so my answer was just yes was right.
He nods.
Huh.
Huh.
He's
And he-
looking for us.
And you watch as the otherwise goes over, picks up this kind of wooden crate, places it on the table here, and you watch as he lifts out the belt of giant strength,
Huh.
and he places it on the table, and otherwise puts the piece of paper containing its price on the front of it, and you see that it is still the same price of 30,000 gold.
Right, that is 3,000 platinum, isn't it?
That is 3,000 platinum, yes.
Okay, this is going to be the most expensive thing I've ever brought in my life. I will complete the transaction by handing over the 3,000 platinum.
You watch as he otherwise opens up a small pouch and otherwise just begins kind of pouring it in, kind of pouring the platinum in. And you see the bag doesn't get any heavier, and as he kind of holds it, you watch as he kind of gives it a little bit of a... He lifts it slightly, and he looks back in the bag, takes out the last platinum piece, puts it in, hands you back your coin purse, just nods, and otherwise passes you the belt of fire giant strength.
Excellent. I cannot do anything. Oh, I can do with that, can't I?
Like, Behold
Can I
was alive
say-
right now.
Can I sell some things? Here. Is that a thing? Can
Yeah,
I sell?
You kind of look at him and mention it, and he kind of sways his head backwards and forwards a little bit, not in a no, but in like a He gets his chalkboard and writes down. I don't typically buy, but I can buy at a reduced price.
That's fine. I've got a couple of bits that I really don't know what to do with. I've got a cloak of protection and a ring of protection, both of which I can no longer use. So, you know.
He nods and otherwise kind of just gives them a look, and writes down on his chalkboard that he'll otherwise pay 1,000 gold for each, one for each.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Seeing as they usually go for around 2,500, it's a vastly reduced price, but excess items, and he's just gotten a wad of cash, so you know.
No, that's cool. So what? That's 200 platinum.
200 platinum, yeah.
Nice.
General note for the Belt of Fire Giant Strength, as it is otherwise handed to you. You see that the belt itself is otherwise kind of this thick leather belt with kind of this brass and iron exterior kind of casing almost around the top and the bottom, and on the front of it is the face of a fire giant majestically wearing this bright orange beard, and behind it is just iconography of flame across the surface of it. While you are attuned to this, you will have 25 strength.
Nice.
Ooh, beautiful.
If Behold was alive right now, he'd be crying.
Hey.
So beautiful.
Tears of joy.
Okay, so I know that Elsyan's like a kid in the candy shop. He's not like abusing them, but he's pulling out scrolls, looking at them briefly, just figuring out what spells they are,
Mhm.
and then putting them back, trying not to cause any problems.
That's fine.
But
Chris, you're gonna have to do my oversheet. Well, I don't know what I'm doing with this.
What, just to make it 25 strength?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That won't be too bad. Yeah, while that's loading, and I'll sort that out. As you're kind of looking through each of the scrolls, like taking them out, you note that they are neatly wrapped in twine and with almost this wax-like seal on the front of them, and each one has some form of icon. And as you otherwise look through, you kind of begin to understand the general iconography of it all. It's not typical letters and number kind of combination to see what's what.
Yeah.
You look through and there's symbols, and it seems to be based on some form of almost like a artificial braille, but it uses schools of magic and then levels, and then just in alphabetical order within that. And as you kind of get a look, you begin to kind of look through the charts. There's quite a few, and as you kind of go through some of them, they do get to the higher tiers. You are looking at 6th and 7th level as kind of the higher tier ones that they have access to.
Yeah.
And there is a large majority of them. The speciality that seems to be in place at the moment, as Chris is going to roll to see which ones you get.
Swear to God, if it just gets, he's only selling illusion spells, I am going to cry.
No, I need to get the schools of magic here.
You have Necromancer, Enchanting, Abjuration, Evocation, Conjuration, Transmutation, Divination.
It's
Abjur-
alphabetical
no, I said
order, so you've got Abjuration, then you have Conjuration, then you have Divination, then Evocation. No, Enchantment first. So one of them is so one of the main schools is Enchantment, and the last one alphabetically would be Transmutation.
Transmutation, yep.
Yep. So those are the two main schools of magic that you see here, with a large kind of plethora of ones.
Okay.
So if you're planning on buying spell scrolls, they'll be mainly from those two schools. There are a few small exceptions, things like Fireball, for kind of
the standard ones.
The standard ones which sell a lot.
Yeah, and what sort of pricing are they? Just so I can sort of be.
If I remember correctly, with spell scrolls, they are half the price because they are consumables.
Yes.
And the level of them dictates their rarity and thus their cost. So the typical spell scroll is so we're looking at rare, very rare, and otherwise. So Let me quickly get up my shopping list that I have here.
Shopping. I'm just excited because I didn't expect to get this far.
No.
Yeah, well, you rolled high with disadvantage, and it's like, well,
No, I didn't.
yeah, that's true. But yeah, you do find these sorts of things.
Have to get a horror gun after all.
No, this is very true. You didn't have to. I have this written down somewhere, but for some reason I can't find it. I have it written down, the pricings of all this sorts of stuff. So let me quickly.
Yeah, that's fine.
Look it up in DMG. So.
I mean, the DMG is very vague with its pricing.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm just there's a general table for this sort of thing. So.
Yeah, I know.
You have cantrips and first levels will otherwise be anywhere between 50 and 100.
Yep, fair enough.
Well, actually, no, 25 and 50 mostly.
25 and 50. Got it.
Uncommon will be anywhere between 50 and 250.
Mhm.
The second and third. Fourth and fifth, being rare, will be anywhere between 250 and 2,500. Higher level spells obviously be higher end. If it's
Yep.
outside of these two schools of magic, it will cost more because it's not on
Yep,
their current
got that.
promotion.
Yep, that's fair enough.
And 6 and 7 are very rare, so they'll be anywhere between 2,500 and 25,000.
Yeah, I'm not looking up at that
But,
sort of height for
yeah.
spells with this.
But yeah.
I'm looking for standard throw out, effectively just slinging spells. Because
Yeah.
I've realised that my damage isn't. I've got some good damaging spells, just know, okay, I've got nothing to do on my turn, let's just do some damage.
Yeah.
So I was hoping that Lightning Bolt was going to be there.
Yeah, Transmutation and Enchantment are the two main ones, so they're going to be the ones of that appropriate price level.
Yeah.
Ones that are outside of that are reachable, but they're going to be more expensive than usual. So something like
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt being a third level puts it at about... close the book, should not have done that.
Shouldn't have done that.
Shouldn't have done that.
I mean, I am also low on money, and I need to get some more. People still owe me. I haven't actually. Oh no, I was about to say people still owe me for the fire potion, but they don't.
No, we all paid.
No, it got paid out of the debt, but still.
Okay. So you'd be looking at Lightning Bolt, that sort of thing?
Mhm.
Say 350 gold for Lightning Bolt.
Fair enough.
It's a third
I
level
will.
spell.
Yep. What I'll do is I'll. Can I pretty much pick any spell, and if you don't, if the spell's not there,
You can pick most
you-
spells. If it's one that's common and I've heard of, then probably. Granted, I've heard
Yeah,
of most spells, but any that are
I'll-
slightly rarer will be.
Yeah. I'll get a small list and sling them your way.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt was probably going to be the only one that wasn't from this promotion.
Yeah, make a wish list and I'll send you prices and
Yeah.
you can and if you put them in order,
Yeah,
then you can
talk
work
on.
from there. So yeah, Nosebone kind of just looks over and kind of watches as you do that as he does the transaction with you, Rook. He takes the ring and the cloak and he otherwise places them to one side as he otherwise kind of moves in and kind of lifts your gauntlet slightly, getting a look at them, kind of tings them on the side.
Oh, yeah. It kind of. Has he seen them before? I don't think we've seen him since we got them, have we?
No, because the last time you saw him was in Adamanthia just before you got them.
We found these at the bottom of Oromance Ravine. Well, not so much bottom, quite far into the ravine.
He nods and just kind of looks on. Just kind of looking at them, turns around to his slate and writes down on it. They're a nice piece of work. Kind of looks over at Elsyan, kind of takes note of the cloak and book, kind of noting them before looking at Bern. And as he otherwise holds his slate up to you, Bern, it says, "Can I help you with anything?"
I take a look around. Is there anything that catches my eye?
There's a large number of things that do catch your eye. What kind of things would you be looking for, or just for interesting things?
Let me check something.
Where's my notepad? There it is.
I guess I'd be looking for some utility-based stuff.
Some utility-based stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
You... In what regard? Like wands, or are you looking for some just interesting items and...
Not wands, but like basically, yeah, interesting.
Okay.
Might help out.
Yeah, that's fine. You otherwise look around, just kind of getting a general look. As you otherwise turn to him, he otherwise just kind of looks at you, kind of taps the edge of his mask somewhat in almost like a thought-like pattern. Before he otherwise reaches into one of the boxes nearby, and you watch as he otherwise pulls out what looks to be that of a kind of a strange, almost pin or brooch, as he otherwise just places it on the table in front.
I inspect it.
Okay. Going over, you otherwise get a look at it, and you just kind of pick it up and get a look at it. It's kind of this bright silverish brooch almost, with a number of feathers that otherwise kind of stick out in almost like a fan-like pattern. And you look at it and you otherwise pick up the price tag for this kind of item. And you see that it costs around 2,000 gold. And it seems to be 2,000 gold. And it's otherwise labelled as a fan token.
Sorry, could you repeat?
It's called a fan token and it costs 2,000 gold.
A what token?
A fan token. F-A-N.
Fan.
Yeah, fan.
Yeah.
What does it sound?
You otherwise watch as he begins to like write things down on chalkboard. As he otherwise turns it around, you see he has written down on the surface of it, creates a strong wind to assist in fast travelling, specifically by boat or air.
Uh-huh. Does it work when you're a cloud?
He kind of pauses and just writes down possibly question mark on it.
Nice.
There you go, Rook. Watches all of your numbers update.
Well, that's plus, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Plus 15 to hit. All of my
Chris.
attacks do 10 slashing damage minimum.
Oh,
Okay, yeah, I wanted to ask, how much did the Abbot say that the +2 crystal would take? Like 15k?
Something around then, like 15 to 20k, yeah.
Okay. Might wanna go for that then. How long did it take to make it? It was like a week.
Half a year, if you wanted
Oh,
to
half
do it.
a year.
But
Jesus,
but that's if it's one caster. Because he can get multiple abods involved, he can otherwise take the time of that down to about like a month.
Do we have a month?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I think
How
the
many
only
days
time-
is a month in this?
There's 28 in a month, 28 days in a month, 13 months a year.
Okay. And we're spending a week here at least.
Yeah.
About a week here, yeah. You could, but keep in mind that Abod's currently busy with various commissions, so he won't be able to help you for the next 2 months.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, that was another one of the things and the reason why you didn't buy it immediately.
Okay.
He otherwise kind of sees you look at this and then kind of go, maybe not, as he otherwise kind of ponders for a moment. kind of looks around. He looks around, and you watch as he kind of puts up a finger, and then goes over to one section, and otherwise you watch as he draws what looks to be almost these star-like white lines in the air, as he draws a very basic symbolized box, and you watch as this box kind of lands on the table in front of him, as he otherwise lifts the lid up, and you watch as he kind of gets a look around on the inside, and he hands you a price tag.
What does it say?
You see that it otherwise, on the surface of it, it has no name. You see it otherwise has unknown item, 60,000 gold.
60 or 16?
60.
60, okay.
Yes.
Something you don't
Unknown
know.
item.
Yeah.
That's
You otherwise
question
look
mark.
as he otherwise opens the lid of the box. You see inside a very well decorated velvet kind of covered inside box, and you see in the center of it a leather pouch. On the surface of it is an arcane lock, and you see twine that's wrapped around, and you see across the surface of it various symbols, the suits of cards.
And
Hello, the Harlan.
Suddenly, Sasha
Hello.
wakes up.
Sasha is currently exploring the city.
While
Oh
sleeping.
God!
Wait, Sasha's been sleepwalking? No!
Huh? What? No! Ah! God! The bees! The bees!
Anyway,
What?
Cards?
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
Now this is more of what I'm talking about. Do you have any idea what the box does?
you watch as
Or
he
is the
kind
box on there?
you watch as he takes kind of a slate and writes down, "It's a storage spell."
Orange spell. Oh.
And he then proceeds to write down in brackets underneath it, "I kind of stole it from someone."
Nice.
I see.
Keeping it classy.
How much can it contain?
You watch as he otherwise writes down the box or the spell.
Either.
He otherwise points to a scroll on the scroll rack.
What does it say on the scroll?
Okay. Seeing as you're there, Elsyan, you see that he's pointing to a scroll of Leomund's secret chest.
Lehman's secret chest. Wait a minute. No. I
How much can that's
Hmm?
tutorials. Yeah.
It
How
can,
much can
it can store a
I don't-
physical chest's worth.
physical chest? Okay.
Yeah, but
oh
you
god, it's luggage.
yeah, effectively you can. Basically, you have the ability to summon a chest to you. It lives in the ethereal plane. It can be stolen from the ethereal plane, for the most
Nice.
part. However, it lasts for 30
Yeah.
days, after which it gets lost in the ethereal plane. So you have to cast it every 30 days if you want to use it. Otherwise, it just lasts in that regard. However, you do know, as kind of being arcane-minded...
Does it last for 30? So I'm reading it.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it lasts for 6. It's 60.
Oh, it's 60, okay.
60, and then there's a 5% chance per day, a cumulative 5% chance per day, that the spell effects will end.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So,
One thing... Yeah.
Oh, that's long enough to forget about.
Yeah, that is. One thing that you do know, as this kind of has taken your interest previously with this sort of thing, just in the Elven Kingdom, guilds and other groups otherwise have learnt ways to make tokens that connect to chests, allowing them to either monitor or access them at a little bit of an easier level. Some form of magical item or something that allows them to access this sort of stuff.
Okay.
So you can have a community chest for a guild, effectively, and you can have a number of them that different people can access depending on their level of token.
Right then, I'm almost done with my list of spells, Chris.
That's fine.
Oh, who do
That was
those?
Harlan.
So,
But yeah, he otherwise looks at the kind of the leather pouch, and he kind of turns to you, and he just writes down on his chalkboard, "I was told not to open it." It's dangerous but curious.
By who?
He then writes down the person who commissioned it.
I assume you can't disclose who that was?
He writes down, I can't, but they never showed up.
I see.
Turns out somewhere along the lines we've killed someone who commissioned something.
Do you have any plans to sell it soon?
He looks at it and writes down, not with that price tag, but whatever it is, it's one of a kind.
I'll get back to you. I don't have enough right now.
Right, then.
He nods.
We are going to sell our tavern for that one item.
None of you can get back there right now.
It is true.
Oh, that's a point of a spell that I want. I know it's fine. It's fine.
Teleportation circle?
I mean, yeah, I know it's conjuration, not one of the other two, and it's that would. I probably can't afford it.
Just means it'd be higher price.
Yeah.
He...
You know, I'll send you a mess. I'll send you the message with the stuff, and then
Yes.
you can tell me.
I hope this is... Wait, I don't know.
He then also kind of gets a look, kind of looks at you again, Bern. He writes something down before he holds up his chalkboard, and you see it otherwise has written on it. Have you considered my offer yet?
His offer?
He kind of does like a sighing motion before he writes down the job offer.
What was his job?
Oh, right. He wants to make Bern his sugar baby. Got it.
Nice.
He
Roll a
then...
history check, do you remember? Or...
Go ahead.
I
Fuck!
vaguely remember him asking about a job last
There.
time we saw him.
Okay. That was
That was
17 I
17,
saw.
yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. It was that beforehand.
History... Where is history? +2.
Okay. He previously asked if you had any spare time and you were looking to earn some money. He had some jobs for you.
I have a week spare.
He otherwise looks at you and goes, not alone, and writes down on the thing, not alone.
Count me in.
I have
What?
a big guy with me.
Terrible ideas.
He then crosses it out and then writes all of you.
Oh.
We could probably get the others involved in something.
Well, except Malcolm.
Well, we could.
I mean...
Because,
Okay, so Malcolm's busy for a week. Then we have no idea what we're doing after, right?
We got no idea. We're just waiting for
Prince of
you know,
Blood.
the royal haemophiliac to to start
You know,
getting married.
Is it
Yeah.
I reckon we can spend the week and do it after help Malcolm with whatever he's doing. We won't have anything else to do afterwards, will we?
No, I don't believe
Take
so.
it in a week.
Can you complete it in a week, did you ask?
No, I mean, can we take it in a week?
He writes
job
down. He writes down on the board. I mean, you've made me wait several months. I don't mind. I don't mind waiting more.
Yeah, but that's
It's
still
been
like a
several
bird.
months.
Several, not 7.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 or
Several.
3. He asked you just after the Frozen Crown. You're currently in the second, nearly the 3rd month of the year. So yeah, you've made him wait maybe a couple months.
What is
Oh,
it with
I
people in
didn't
this
even know
party
Bern was
and
in this
making
song.
people wait?
It's
I didn't even
fine.
realize Bern was here for that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Rook.
Mm-hmm.
True. Oh yeah, we did take some time skip, right?
Yeah.
He then proceeds to otherwise kind of rub it all out and go. And writes down. It's a dangerous job. I want all of you, or you don't get the job.
In a week we'll all be free.
If we have to abandon said quest to take a bit of time out to deal with another issue, could that be a problem?
We've made him wait this long.
He otherwise
No, but like if we start it and then suddenly it's like we've been called to go and fight the Prince of Blood.
he pauses and writes down if you have a way to get home. And you watch as he writes down teleportation, crosses it out. Plane shift, crosses it out.
Oh.
I guess that's that then.
So once we start this job, we're committed
magical
to it.
chalk? Question mark.
He tilts his head to one side.
To be fair, if the scribe fellow comes and get us, I think he probably can get us home
Well,
with
the thing is,
zero effort.
the thing is, the skin scribe hasn't specified that. We'll talk about this in a minute when we all actually meet up. I've got loads of talking to do about this.
It's
Are you actually saying? Yeah. You're actually saying
Well,
that in
I mean,
character?
I can't
Oh, no,
actually say that
that's
to
true, 'cause
Sasha in
Sasha said
character.
it.
She's not here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Chalk would, when you draw a circle, can teleport to another circle.
He then taps on the teleport bit and shakes his head.
So when we start this, we're kind of
Word
stuck
of
in
Okay, I'm not here.
Harlan.
Where is this quest exactly?
He otherwise pauses, and you watch as he otherwise just looks at you, like a blank, dead stare through the completely blank mask. Before he otherwise pauses and writes down on the chalkboard some words, and as he turns it around, you can't read them.
Can't read.
Can I read them?
What is that?
None of you can. No.
Wait,
Oh,
wait. Somewhere in here.
Comprehend language? Wait, does that help?
Do you want to cast
I mean-
comprehend languages?
Yeah. Go for it. I had the same thought, but I don't know it. I was looking for a scroll to try and quickly cast it.
You can
And
always
then I had to pay for the scroll.
you can always roll for it on your book.
Yes, hello. Oh god, meteor swarm.
It can't.
God.
You choose a level and it casts at that level. You don't. It doesn't do that.
It doesn't do that. Okay.
No. So if you
Oh
choose
God,
a
meteor
first,
swarm.
if you choose a first level, it will only be a first level.
There's a lot of. That could end very well of just be a wet fart.
oh my
Quite
God.
literally.
I cast comprehend languages.
You see the word Parandra written in front of you.
What language is it in?
You don't know.
Huh.
Roll me a Arcana check with disadvantage, please.
Arcana
Mhm.
is +7, 17.
17. Parandra you've heard of before. In legends, myths. It's a name, but that's all.
That place exists.
He nods.
How do we even get there?
You watch as he otherwise draws a triangle on the surface of his chalkboard and proceeds to write plane shift, teleportation, and dream. With all three of them connected at each corner.
So what is this place?
And do we know what kind of place it is from the legend? And
It's a place of legend and myth. The most that you know is that you know that it's from a legend or myth. You don't know its entirety. You don't know enough. Not with that roll.
Oh.
Seeing as it has been
I've
mentioned,
sent you the list, Chris.
I will say, Elsyan, seeing you're proficient in Arcana, yes?
Yes, I am proficient in Arcana.
If you'd like to make a check with disadvantage,
Okay. This is a +10.
yeah, to see if you might know what this is.
That is a 23.
23. Parandra you've heard of in the myth and legends. You don't know exactly what it is, but you know that it's mentioned that certain adventurers have ended up there, either by accident or on purpose.
Oh, wonderful. That's where.
Parandra is some form of almost a mimic plane. Not as in everything there is a mimic, as in everything there
It's
is
a
like the material plane, but not.
Okay. Oh, it's a bit like how the Feywild and Shadowfell are to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And the material plane.
Yeah, they're all kind of in that same dimension, but they're all connected and they're all close. Parandra, if it's part of the lot, you don't know. It's not something you otherwise would have thought of, but it's mentioned like that.
Do we have anyone that can cast the dream?
He otherwise he takes the chalkboard and otherwise writes his own name on it. Otherwise holds it up.
I can cast Dream.
Okay.
Nice.
Teleportation, dream, and what was the other one?
Plane shift.
Plane shift.
Plane shift.
You need 3 casters to do this,
Okay,
with
so
one
Sasha
of each
has
of those
plane shift,
spells.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So Sasha, me, and Elsyan then.
You can
Or-
you can get back if you do it. However, it will use up 1 spell slot from each of you to cast this to do so.
So we can get back from there as well?
You
same
can,
way?
yeah. You have the same way you can get back because you'd have the plane shift, teleportation, and dream. But if you can't cast them, because if I remember correctly, dream's casting time is an hour or something like that.
It's something as long time. Yeah.
Yeah. So for teleportation, you need to
Dreams
otherwise.
is a minute.
Dream is a minute.
Is it a
Yeah,
minute?
it's a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
so
an 8-hour duration.
okay.
8 hour duration.
So
Yeah,
in
it's
which
an 8 hour
case
duration.
you need to basically concentrate on each of your spells for a minute to otherwise successfully leave that place, because you need to meet the longest duration of that cast time.
So if we do get called, we won't have our highest level spell slots. Or
Which,
one of our
to be
highest.
honest, could be a bad idea considering we've still got to get in that place.
He also
wherever
writes
it
dangerous
is.
on it and then underlines it twice.
Nice. Do any of us have any idea what language they speak? Like last time we went somewhere and none of us could speak it. We're gonna
He
burn
he
ethereal thing.
rubs out again and then proceeds to write down, "There aren't people."
No, nice. Does that mean we could just come in and just start blasting?
He pauses, draws a picture of Danny DeVito.
Huh! We can. Wonderful.
Then
Wait a minute. Who's that goblin? No, wait. What?
oh wow.
I'm confused.
Halfling.
Halfling. Oh, I
Um,
do apologise. Oh, I suppose they are halfway in between goblins and dwarves.
Yeah, he writes down on the kind of on the surface of the chalkboard and kind of pauses, looks at it for a moment, and then just turns it back to the rest of you. Not people, but there are creatures.
Can we talk
Hostile?
to them? Hostile. That's probably the better one.
He writes down, "You can try" for your question, and then he writes down, underneath with the "Are they hostile?" most of the time.
Oh, there's ambiguity in there.
What do we exactly have to do there?
You watch as he otherwise just continues writing down, but you see there's some form of drawing in the midst of it. And you watch as he otherwise draws a picture of some form of gemstone and writes down, "I need you to get this. I'll give you more details if you accept the job."
Okay.
Do you know where it is?
He writes down yes.
So we have clear path of where we need to go.
He then also proceeds to write down, "I also know the route to get there. I'm not going with you."
Oh.
Would you? Okay, when we accept this job, would you tell us the route?
You
Just making sure.
You watch as he otherwise goes over, draws a few symbols, and otherwise reaches in and pulls out what looks to be that of a map case.
Ah,
What's the bookcase?
what?
What did he pull out?
A map case.
Map case.
He didn't pull out a
He
bookcase.
pulls out a bookcase, just whacks over the head. Yeah.
Huh. That's a bag of holding.
Yeah, pulls out a map case, and otherwise writes down on the chalkboard. I have mapped most of it out, but it's dangerous.
Noted.
Okay.
They don't like me there.
Alright, let's not introduce ourselves as friends of Osebone.
No. Let's not introduce. When we do this, we don't introduce ourselves at all.
That
We
gem
just.
being protected or something? Or...
He pauses, almost like considering his answer, before he writes down, yes, but it's not theirs.
So there's multiple things there defending it. Okay.
He writes down, yes, it is legally mine.
How exactly did you lose it?
He writes down, you ask too many questions.
Fair.
You don't give good answers.
Oh, dear me.
We'll talk to the rest and we'll get back to you.
He just writes down, I understand, I want you all to do this. I don't want any of you to go alone. I don't think you'll make it back. And then he kind of crosses out and goes, no, you won't make it back without me.
Okay. So he is coming with us.
No, he's not.
He's
He's
not
gonna appear once we get the gem.
He's able to extract you out of there, but he can't go with you. He has the magic to go in and out, but he doesn't have the ability to do what needs to be done to get the object.
Okay, boys. We ready to do the Shivering Isles DLC?
Yes. Glorious. I'm gonna ask Osebone one last thing. I'm gonna try and describe what that guy that we fought in the Emperor's chamber. He had that band thing that had the beads that gave him haste and enlarge and stuff like that. I'm gonna see if Osebone's ever heard or come across something like that, and if I can possibly get something similar.
He otherwise nods and he writes down. He writes down two things. He writes down prayer beads, and he also writes down script beads.
Prayer beads or script beads?
With a question mark after each.
Also, to Sam, that sounds like a necklace version of the Rod of Lordly Might.
Prayer beads are already a magical item in the DMG.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tend to only look at items when they turn up in a random generator list.
I think they are in the random generator list, but yeah.
Well, yeah, they are. No, but
They've
when
just never
I've
come
actually
up.
rolled them, yeah, they just never come up for
Yeah.
me.
Prayer beads or script beads?
Sorry?
You know the guy that we fought, the head marshal, I think it was, or something like that. The guy that we fought in front of the Emperor to prove who we were. That you drove mad with your laughing armor.
Yeah?
Yeah, the beads that he had that he was able to cast haste on himself and large and stuff like that. I was curious about if that's something that I could eventually invest into. I don't actually know what they're called. And apparently they could be script or prayer beads. I mean, I assume they come pre-enchanted?
He
No?
looks at you, kind of like, yeah. And then
Okay.
and then he writes down, the spells vary from bead to bead.
Fair. I'm looking something more, as you can imagine, to help with martial stuff. So, enlarge would be very useful. You know, things like that. How much would you be looking at for something like that?
He looks at you and then kind of writes down, prayer beads equals magic needed. Script beads equals magic not needed.
Okay, I don't have
You
magic.
have magic, right?
I have very slight. I mean, it's like what first level spells. I don't know if that helps.
He scribbles out magic needed and puts divine question mark.
Well, I definitely don't have divine.
Nope.
So, yeah, it's probably gonna be script then.
Okay. He, 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 kind of just look, kind of gives you a look over and just goes, I have a few. And you watch as he pulls what looks to be 3 pieces of paper from one piece of box and puts them in front of you, and you see that their price otherwise ranges from anywhere from 6,000 gold to 12,000 gold.
Huh.
And they each have short lists of spells.
What does the 6,000 gold one have?
Let's see. This is something I need to roll for, so
Fair.
this does get very time consuming. For all intents and purposes, the variation on spells that you can get are mostly of the Conjuration or the Enchantment school. Or not Conjuration, Transmutation, Enchantment, or Conjuration, sorry. Same thing as the spell scrolls, actually, interestingly enough. And all of the spells will be of 3rd level or lower, but it is random across those 3 schools of magic. And the number of each of these beads is also going to vary.
Okay.
Kind of getting a look across them, there are some which include haste, there are some which include mage armor, there are others that include spells such as ice knife or floating disc. There are some with alter self, some with enthrall. A lot of these spells you don't understand or know what they do. Looking for haste and looking for enlarge reduce as 2 of the main ones. They are on the more expensive end, closer to 12,000 gold, as they are otherwise
Okay.
sought after spells.
I am short 7,000. Fair. I will ask him if he can keep it aside.
Okay, this is gonna sound bastardy, but I just need to ask one thing. Sam, do you still have keen mind?
He never had keen mind, he had
I
observant.
never had observant. I've never had keen mind.
Where am I thinking of keen mind being a thing then?
I've made that mistake myself.
Oh well, no idea. Oh well, doesn't matter.
Fair. Okay.
Fair enough.
So yeah, could you keep that aside potentially? Short a little bit.
You watch as he writes, first come, first serve, otherwise yes.
Fair. Fair. Script beads. 12,000.
I guess we'll ask you more about the things in there when we get to go there.
You watch as he otherwise writes down the words construct, abjuration, then he draws a plus sign, and he draws an equals between them.
Wait, so construct, abjuration, plus. What?
You put the 2 together.
Oh.
An abjurational construct. Or an aberrational construct, sorry, not abjuration.
Oh, aberration and construct. Okay.
Yes.
Just before I carry on, script beads, are they attunement?
He shakes his head, but he does write down, you do have to concentrate though.
Oh, okay. That's actually really useful to know. Okay, poke. Oh, thank you. And that's that for me. Right, I'll be back in a second.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just finishing off the last 2 prices now, so.
Cool. That's fine. I'm willing to wait. I have asked about a lot of spells, to be honest.
That's fine. That is respectively in order of the ones that you gave me the list for.
Does that include detect thoughts at the bottom, though?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, thought parcel would be expensive.
Yeah. It is transmutation though, so it's cheaper than teleportation circle.
I did notice that, but I still can't afford the parcel. And I don't really want to owe this guy money.
How much is it?
It's 2,300 for parcel. And I may have gotten the spell wrong, but I believe parcel was the one where, oh, there's walls in my way. No, there's not.
Correct. basically Passwall allows you to create a connecting door for I think an hour, and then it leaves no mark, and it doesn't deal with any form of like structural integrity. It just works.
It could be something that could get us through if we end up like in the middle of a maze or something. It's like, nope, we're getting to the entrance.
How thick can the wall be?
I think like
It doesn't matter. Right.
10 feet, I think.
Let's say a passage appears at a point of your choice that you can see on a wooden, plaster, or stone surface, such as a wall, a ceiling, or a floor, within range, and lasts for the duration. You choose the opening's dimensions up to 5 feet wide, 8 feet tall, and 20 feet deep.
So 20 foot thick.
Okay, so 20 foot thick wall. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not going to get us from here through a mountain, but it can help getting us through. Because it doesn't.
It has to be wood or stone, right?
Wood, stone, or plaster.
So no metal.
No metal. No.
So no metal, unfortunately.
No, it's just
Fuck! I've got the.
Get inside a construct and start sabotaging it from the inside.
That would be a cool idea. However, what this does do is this does allow you to find easy ways to skip dungeon pieces if you can figure it out, or if you take the gamble and find it in room.
I think we can go through locked doors.
Warforged can be made of wood, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just in case we ever wind up fighting a Titan Warforged. I forget what exactly they're called, but
Warforged Colossus.
Colossus, yeah.
I definitely haven't been looking at them. No, not at all.
Sorry. Anyway, Infernal.
That means we can make a door through a door, right? Or like a locked door.
I mean,
theoretically, yeah.
Yeah. I just need some wood to cast it on.
Then again, if you're going to do that, you might as well just use knock, which is second level. But
true.
Yeah,
I did look at knock, but magical locks are bastards. That doesn't work on magic locks.
Yeah, it does. It disables them for a minute.
I didn't think it worked on magic locks. I thought it only worked
No,
on
it does
undead.
on magic locks as well. Yeah.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah, it disables them for a minute, and then afterwards the user knows that it's been disabled.
Oh, okay.
If you choose a... Oh, oops. Accidentally clicked off the spell. If you choose a target that is held shut by an arcane lock, the spell is suppressed for 10 minutes, during which time the target can be opened and shut normally. When you cast the spell, a loud knock, audible as far as 300 feet, emanates from the target object. Oh, okay, so never mind. It doesn't do that. But it only breaks one such lock, not multiple.
And this is specifically for the arcane lock spell.
This is specifically for the arcane lock spell, yes. But if there are any locks, it can disable them. And I would deem magical locks to be the same sort of thing. They're suppressed for 10 minutes.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. So if we're just trying to get past doors, then that's fine. Either way, unless you guys are going to lend me 2,300, I don't think I'm going to take Passwall. It could be good, but I...
Keep in mind, you also have to buy the... If you don't have the paper and ink, you're going to need that.
Exactly.
So.
I need to pay that. I don't think I've got any on me. I might... No, I don't.
Yeah. As you kind of had that contemplation, looking through the costing and kind of calculating it, you see a bargain bin full of enchanted paper and ink.
Oh, is it like in one of those like metal cages you get full of like second-hand CDs of movies and bands that no one's heard of?
And ink bottles. Yeah.
Okay, so if I go for lightning bolt for 300, I want fly, so that's just a no-brainer.
Yeah. Just calculate how much you want to take out and then do that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, fly's 300, 200. Okay.
Transmutation.
Yeah, transmutation.
So Bern, as you're otherwise having this discussion with him, you watch as he begins to kind of draw like pictures, and they look. You can understand why they look like constructs, but there are organic parts to them, which is very off-putting.
So they're not fully construct.
Shakes his head.
Do you know what kind of magic they use, or?
He pauses, kind of almost looks off to the distance before he kind of writes down. They don't use magic, but they are magic. Question mark.
They are magic. So how do they attack?
And he writes down successfully.
Nice.
Now listen.
He then proceeds to write down they don't miss.
Oof.
So it's automatic stuff.
Every attack is
He
magic
nods.
missile.
He then kind of pauses for a moment. And
Elements? Question mark.
he writes down arcane, then proceeds to kind of pause and writes down several words and holds them up, but they're all kind of written in that same language with comprehend languages still up. Roll me a intelligence check, please.
I will lucky this.
Okay,
My last lucky.
your last lucky. So it's either an 8 or a 6.
It's an 8 plus 2.
10. You look at all the words, you don't have any ties of information towards them. You look at them, it doesn't make an entire lot of sense. The comprehend languages is working, but you don't know what any of the words mean.
So 8. 4 in damage. Okay.
He writes down, not quite. Then writes down, I'll explain at a later date.
Yeah, I'm just asking if we need to stock up on any resistance or anything.
He looks at you and then otherwise writes down on the chalkboard. Resistances might help. They didn't last time.
They didn't last. Okay. What kinds did you use?
Force, necrotic, fire, poison, lightning.
Force, necrotic, fire, lightning.
And poison.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
And these didn't work. Okay.
No. He then proceeds to write down anything to do with bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing. You can't have resistance to.
Yeah.
Fair.
Outside
Even
of
when
being
you're raging?
outside of being a barbarian, of course, but none of you are. So
Ah, well, Elsyan's about to multi-class.
Yes, I think we're all about to multi-class.
and then
I
none
don't
of you
have the
can
strength.
cast spells.
I can't. How many times can you multi-class?
As many as you like. It just makes your class more and more inoptimal. But you
Yeah,
get to do cool combos.
It
I
gets
mean, there was a person that multi-classed into every single class.
absurd. Yes.
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 That's madness.
Absurd.
Yeah. But
Fucking absurd.
as you otherwise finish up here, paying the necessary things that you need to there, Elsyan, for spell scrolls, you can buy as much
Okay.
drink as you want.
Okay, right. How much money do I have? I've
None
got
after
1,500.
this.
Well, no. After this, granted, none. But I've got 1,500 gold, effectively. And the spells that I've decided to pick are Lightning Bolt, Earthbind, Fly, Protect from Good and Evil, Detect Thoughts, and Slow. I'm just double checking there's no others that I want. I mean, I want Erupt Earth.
It is a good one.
How much? Which one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. It's only 200. Fuck it, I'm getting that as well. This brings me up to a total of 330 gold pieces spent on spell scrolls.
Wow.
Nice. Okay.
Excuse me, while Elsyan goes broke.
Yeah,
So
fair.
just get rid of the platinum. Actually, wait, give me a second.
The other way, as you're kind of looking through all of this, and you're kind of the last one to finish up, he looks over some of the spells that you're looking through.
Mhm.
Kind of just gets a look, and then kind of just looks at you and points towards the book.
Oop.
Oh, what about the book? Yeah,
You-
yes. Oh, I'm a wizard.
He writes
Now.
down, "Can I see it?"
Elsyan sort of hands over the book slowly, and as he takes it, he sort of clenches his hand slightly.
So Bern yeets out of there.
He takes the book and begins flipping through it. And as he begins flipping through kind of your notes on it, you watch as he begins to get towards the old owner's notes on spells. Just begins to get a look, begins to slowly look through them. And you watch as he kind of stops on one particular spell.
What spell is it?
You look down at the spell that's listed. It's one of the ones you haven't managed to decipher, but it is illusion based. You watch as he otherwise look as he looks down at it, and then he goes and picks up his chalkboard and writes down, "I can give you your list in exchange for this page."
Oh.
Don't do it.
Mm.
Don't do it.
Now, when he says list, does he mean the entire list? Or...
Your entire list for this one page. Keep in mind, this means you'll have to learn it later. In other words, he's going to extract the spell from the book, and so you won't be able to learn this one illusory spell.
It's one illusory spell for... And this is my entire wish list here.
This is
including
entire wish list
teleportation
that you've
stuff
sent
and
me.
password.
Will you take it for free later, though?
I mean...
Elsyan can then purchase...
Can I come back and look at it?
He otherwise writes down, you can come back and buy the spell scroll for a cheaper price.
Ow.
He then writes down, it's one of the few I don't know.
Okay, right. I didn't know this was a... I've just got any... Can I throw in a couple other spells into this, and I'll accept?
He writes down any excess money I can take away from the spell when you want it later. But you can take away from that now if you would like.
How much would it cost if he was to come later?
25,000.
No, do it.
Oh, yikes.
Isn't that about the same amount it costs to bring him back from the dead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I've just got to very quickly look at like the higher level illusion spells that exists.
There's only one. It's weird.
Oh,
I'm just gonna say this.
You are a sick son of a bitch.
Because I like this spell so much.
Each creature with okay, I'm just going to read this out. This is a spell I'm going to be giving up, as actually I think this is the last illusion spell for me to learn.
Here's the thing: if any excess that you have, so if you calculate your total as well as the paper you're going to take for this, if that will then be the rest of that will be effectively he's paying 25,000 for this now, but then any excess you don't use will just be taken off of that cost for later. Okay.
Right. Here's the thing. I'm just going to be yeeting spells at him. You know what? Any spells that we need as a party?
No. Not that I can think of. I mean, we've got Plane of Travel...
Did you want to read it out, or shall I?
For weird, you can read it out.
Each creature in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on a point of your choice within range, which is 120 feet, must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, a creature becomes frightened for the duration. The illusion calls on the creature's deepest fears, manifesting its worst nightmares as an implacable threat. At the end of each of the frightened creature's turns, it must make a wisdom saving throw. On a fail, it takes 4d10 psychic damage. On a success, the spell ends on that creature. It lasts for a minute.
I'm actually willing to give that up. To me, that doesn't set my world on fire as a spell.
It's a very powerful one, though.
Is that every time they fail?
Every time they fail, they take.
Every time they fail, they take 4d8, and it would be
concentration.
For me, that would be DC 20.
Yeah,
but it's concentration.
Depends on whether you want to cast lower level support spells or whether you're going to go the whole mental prison route. In which case, this destroys chaff, effectively.
Oh, this is a spell that you pop in and all the Gribblies just die.
Yeah.
But when I can get other higher level spells from this, I'm willing to give it up. I'm going to give it up. I'm going to take his deal, and I'll throw in, and I'll also throw the other spells that I can think of that I want, Chris.
Okay, fair enough.
If that's all right.
Yep.
I
After that,
haven't decided, but I will.
that's fine. If you throw those ones at me, I'll price them, and then what we'll do is we'll calculate the total, and then I'll tell you how much it will cost to rebuy the spell back from those. Though.
Yeah, this is gonna be.
Yeah. You watch as he otherwise looks at the book, and you watch as he otherwise kind of just lightly
gonna
pulls
kill
on the
me.
page, as otherwise just pulls out, nice and easy.
She is going to kill me. As Elsyan, having now agreed to this, has just gone. Oh God. Oh, okay. We're not going to go see that Dawn Marshal later.
It's a good thing that we have a mission to do instead.
You watch as he otherwise takes the page and he otherwise folds it up and places it in almost this arcane seam that appears and then it disappears as he does it, as he places it in there. He closes the book, hands it back to you, and otherwise just begins examining your cloak.
No, you can't have the cloak. No, he doesn't hiss at him.
He writes down on the chalkboard, I'm just looking. What are all these holes?
The cloak's incomplete. I think I need to find more of these. I hope to talk to one of the Dawn Marshals later today to figure out if it is just a case of need to find the particular bits of lapis or there's some other weird shit going on. I'm betting on the weird shit.
He otherwise looks over it and writes down on his chalkboard, if you're looking for lapis, head to Oregon.
We've got to head to Oregon again at some point anyway, probably for some reason.
Well, I dare say we'll probably have to report to the Emperor, if we successfully kill the Prince of Blood.
I mean, if we manage to kill the Prince of Blood, I think we'll all be riding pretty high and just walking into Oregon, all of us just middle fingers up. Because we're better than them.
Except for at Gavin at the Gate, obviously.
Of course. Yes, your gay lover.
He's not my gay lover.
Yet.
Hey, he's just gonna be a bit on the side. Don't tell my wife I said that.
Technically, let's be reasonable here. Gavin is going to be both of their side piece.
Oh no.
Fair.
Oh God.
They're going
poor
for
Gavin.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're a couple that wants to experiment.
With
Osbone
they
Osbone writes
Let
down.
Chris talk.
Osbone writes down his chalkboard. Prince of Blood. He sounds fun.
Really edgy, just emo fringe.
Poor King of Blood now, isn't he?
No, doesn't he only get to be King of Blood once he's married?
No, that's Emperor.
Oh right. Ah, fuck.
I think it was King when he got the crown and Emperor when he got married. We're trying to stop Emperor, but I think he's King because he's got his crown now, which could come with all sorts of more fun madness.
Yes.
Like pit fiends.
Like pit fiends, yeah.
I mean, you're not there, Malcolm, but yeah. He then writes down, like what?
Well, I mean, he's quite strong. He does blood magic. I don't know what it's called, but I've been told he essentially created it.
He writes down hematurgy, and he then kind of looks at you and goes, "What is he?"
Demon.
Yes.
Demon, Prince, King. He's from the Abyss, as far as we know. Horrible. He has a bodyguard that is immortal. Can't kill him for love nor money. You've got a crazy skin scribe that works for him that is bonkers strong. Apparently half of the reason why Oroman's Ravine exists. Yeah, and he's gonna get stronger. Looking forward to that.
He will get strong.
You watch as he kind of looks at you all, and then writes down, "How much do you have?"
How much what?
Money?
Money.
I have... Jamie goes through his bag.
Looks at Bern, looks at Elsyan.
He has...
I've got near 1,500.
I've
Not
got...
1,500. Yeah, 1,500.
I've got 548 platinum and 292 gold.
I've got 11,500 gold.
Okay.
Why?
He looks and then he kind of pauses. You see, there's like a sense of almost mild sadness
What?
as he otherwise kind of lowers his head, looks around at the rest of you, and you watch as he otherwise reaches his hand out, and you watch as he pulls a blade, which Elsyan you recognize. It is a deep black blade. Otherwise, the hilt of it is otherwise feathered in some regard. The handle is immaculate, the end of it studded with a bright red ruby. As he pulls it free, you see the edge of it is covered in scrawling across the edges of each side as he pulls free Darksbane. Bern.
Yep.
I would like the three of you there to make me an intelligence check real quick.
I'm guessing this isn't a standard D&G item.
No, it isn't.
Okay, so
13 for me.
just flat intelligence.
Flat intelligence,
12
please, yeah.
plus 1, yeah, I've got 13.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
This is a combined
13.
DC.
Oh, it combined.
Combined DC. I'm looking for.
24.
Elsyan finishes it off. So what we have 24 plus
13 plus 13.
13
Yeah.
plus 13. You meet the DC of 50 for this. As
Just enough.
just enough, yeah. As Elsyan, you watch as he pulls it free, you mutter the words Darksbane. Bern. Darksbane is the weapon wielded by Sindrin Corvit, the last alive Dawn Marshal. You know who Ozbone is.
No.
There's suddenly this moment in the back of your head where it kind of ticks, and then all of you kind of just go, wait.
How? What?
It's
Huh.
you.
Yeah, no.
You
Now,
watch as he takes his
this-
chalkboard, writes something down, and then writes question mark, and then underneath it writes, oh shit, question mark?
So that's why you've been paying interest in all of our stuff. 'Cause this is familiar to you.
He writes, yes, you know me? Question mark?
A Dawn Marshal.
You watch as he kind of rubs it out and quickly writes, I wasn't. Yet
You
I was.
Huh.
He then points at your book, kind of begins flipping through pages and stops on the simulacrum spell.
He's a simulacrum.
Yeah, I see.
Right.
You watch as he
Okay.
kind of lifts his hand and does kind of like the kind of.
It's close enough for now.
He nods.
Okay.
Huh. Interesting.
What does the blade do?
You watch as he otherwise writes down, kicks ass.
Okay.
And he
Good enough for me.
He then
Wow.
he then proceeds to write down underneath it against undead and fiends.
Oh. We need it. How much does he want for it? How much do you want for it?
Can this be turned into a devastation?
It can.
How big
What
is
is a
it?
devastation?
Devastation
spear.
is his main weapon of choice. He can only
Okay.
use magical weapons if they give him an additional form, or if they go into his main slot, which is the devastation at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
This would replace his sphere.
Okay, interesting.
He looks at all of you before he writes down, I can loan it to you, but I want it back.
I
He then
completely
writes,
fine
it's
with it.
not technically mine at the moment.
It's the original use, I'm guessing.
He writes down, yes.
Oh fuck! I've been told about this guy before.
Well, we needed to find this guy at some point.
Yeah,
Didn't we?
I thought we did. There was some reason we did. I believe he was somewhere down in the Sanguine Sands or somewhere. I think.
Below
I could
them.
be wrong.
He was on the
Below
island known as the Island of Dreams, south of the
Yes. Okay.
the edge of Brandis Hill, somewhere down here.
Dreams, you say?
Okay. So is it just a normal sized sword then?
It is a longsword, yes.
Huh.
You do know that this is one of the artifacts that was mistaken to be one of the official weapons.
Right. Okay. So this isn't a proper dawn martial weapon,
This
but it
isn't
is still a.
This isn't a proper dawn martial weapon that can awaken, but you know that it is. It was mistaken
Powerful.
for it because of how powerful it was. Yeah.
Oh, that is. Like,
If it works against fiends, then it's super good.
I think if you're willing to just loan it to us for the killing of the now King of Blood, I think we only can but accept.
We just have to make sure we don't kill him with that.
You watch as he otherwise writes down on the chalkboard. I'll accept a job in return instead of coin.
Presumably that job.
He then writes down in brackets at a later date.
Okay, so not this one.
Just.
Is he talking about the job that he wants us to go on, or?
That's he hasn't decided yet. He'll either send you on this one if it's what you want to, or otherwise a different job if you don't want to take that job.
Fair enough.
Because he did
I think
previously offer to pay you for it, so.
I think we'll.
Did he say how much? Or no?
He hasn't said how much he'll loan it to you for. No.
No, how much would he pay for the job? That's
He said that he would pay handsomely. Given the items he has here, he'll either be paying you in items or platinum bars.
No.
So,
I am walking around in platinum armor.
So
that's what Elsyan would do with platinum bars.
Because platinum bars aren't strictly a common currency, a platinum bar is 100 platinum, so it's 1,000 gold. So being paid in that tells you how much he's willing to pay if he's not going to give it to you in coins.
Okay, guys. Now that we know that he's possibly a simulacrum, I know it's weird, but if he is a simulacrum, he's got half health. We can take him. I am of course joking. That was Sam, not Elsyan. But
Incoming the party kills Ozbone. All future contact with him is lost. Party loses their
yes,
best
we
arcane
get all these
seller.
items.
fuck, he's got a secret chest. That would make perfect sense, to be honest.
I mean, how many fiends do we reckon we're going to be going against?
I think we take it and we just accept the fact that we're going to have to do this guy a favor. We're going to have to do Ozbone a favor.
Fair.
I think if it's being sold to us like this, and not just by Ozbone, but by Chris, I think we need to. Bit metagamey, but still.
I mean, you can win the fight without. This is just going to make it more interesting for me.
And I think we need to take it, guys. Anything to make that fight easier.
Fair. Fair.
He said it kicks ass. I'm taking it.
Go for it. Well then.
Alright.
Right. Elsyan just walks out with a...
Anything special I need to know about it?
We're not going to kill us while using it, is it?
Oh God, please
He writes down no question mark bad experiences.
Yeah, ironically, with Bern. It's a habit of killing us. Or at least hurting us.
Magic.
We know that cursed items are a thing. Just the most powerful items are also cursed.
He nods. That may be true, but this is a good item.
Okay.
Yeah. Alright. I take it.
Okay. And you'll now apply it to your devastation.
Yeah.
I'll get you the description for that in a bit.
Alright.
I can give you a general overview of what it does, or you can wait for the full description where we read it off at the end. It's up to you.
We'll wait for that.
Wait for the end? Understood.
Okay.
Or do you want it now?
It won't be an exact description. Because I still
I want the whole one.
I'm missing some of
Let's do it at the end.
the text
Yeah, let's do it at the end.
at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no guarantee of you guys actually meeting Osbone beforehand, so, or meeting, not necessarily before Prince of Blood, but meeting and having this conversation. So,
so many spells. Just assume Elsyan's walking out with as many spells,
He's just
spell scrolls
got
as
a-
he can carry.
he's just got several carrier bags of spell scrolls. He's carrying,
Got like
carry all
10.
those spell scrolls.
Got 10. Got at least 10 bottles of ink and a carrier bag just of paper. No arcane stuff in this city.
Nice.
Okay. As you otherwise make your way back, heading back to the tavern after doing some exploration for some various things, you meet Queglod and Sasha. Sasha, you've spent the past 6 hours exploring the city. It is a nice city. It has a big smithing area, and you watch them smith, and their techniques are very different to what you're used to. They hammer metal the same way, they heat metal the same way, but the way they craft and some of the tools they have are rather unique. They use some more interesting methods, where you're used to using like a hammer and chisel to put any inscribing in it. They have some strange, almost arcane way of doing it, but it's not quite arcane. And as you kind of get a look, you watch as one of them takes one of the blades that they're otherwise making and plants it in the ground, and you watch as these thick black roots begin to grow up and begin to squish and bend the metal in a particular manner, almost like a cast. It's interesting. But outside of that, the city is a wonderful place to be, and you kind of feel welcome here. A lot of people are travelling around, and you also feel a connection to a Turan here. There is some divine level here that you're interested in. And Queglod, where you finish up your medallion, you head back. Malcom is still missing. He is still at the top of Stalagnest, otherwise focusing. But the rest of you otherwise arrive back at the tavern, being allowed back up onto this level. You head back into the tavern. You look at your companions as you see Elsyan is currently unfolding scrolls and otherwise tucking most of them into his book. But
Get in there. Yes, this is how spells work. Elsyan's got a bit magic crazy.
Oh,
I've
dear.
grown up weird, but I've got all of this.
Look at what you did. You ruined a perfectly good wizard is what you did. Look, you've
Wait.
given him anxiety.
We didn't do anything. We found Osbone, and then Elsyan brought loads of scrolls. And by the way, I
Elsyan.
got my belt, and
I didn't buy them, Sasha. As Elsyan sort of runs up, puts his hand on Sasha's shoulder and starts shaking her. I didn't buy them. He just gave them to me for a page out of my book. Ha ha ha. He took the 9th level spell weird, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's fine. I don't expect you to survive till we can cast 9th level spells, so it's fine.
Hey,
Well, nice to see
You
you bounce
didn't
back
survive
from
to
your...
get 8th level spells, so
you know what? Fuck you.
fair.
Fuck you, Sasha. You know what? You're not getting any of this tonight.
Huh.
buffalo wings.
What was Simon
What?
saying?
Remember, that's the code word.
No, that's a safe word.
No. The safe word is banana hammock.
It sounds a bit verbose.
Rook is
Well,
gonna have
sometimes
nightmares.
it's got to be very clear when you're in the moment.
Turn around desperately, guys. My room is right next to theirs. Like,
Uh,
they knocked a wall
Rook?
out to have a larger bedroom.
Rook,
I hear things at night.
Rook, I'm sorry. I'll be learning this so that when it happens again, you won't have to worry. As I pull out the spell Silence. Silence is one of the scrolls I'm getting, Chris.
understood.
Okay. Excellent, that's useful.
So you won't be able to hear it.
Cool.
Or maybe when you know I don't cast it, it's on purpose.
No, I'm not even gonna go in there. No, I'll just say I'll come charging through the wall and.
No,
take
you
the chest up.
won't.
Then it's occurred to me that I don't want to walk into that. I will sleep downstairs. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's that.
That's a thing.
Oh, and Bern's also got a sweet sword for the time being.
Oh, it's not.
That's good.
It's called Darkbane. Was mistaken as a Dawn Martial artifact. Isn't, mind, but it's powerful enough to be mistaken for one. So.
Yeah. Apparently, Ozcode is also the last Dawn Marshal.
Kind of like a simulacrum, but I don't think he is actually a simulacrum.
It's a grey area.
How exactly does one become kind of like a signal?
I don't know. There's a lot of weird shit in this world, Queglod. Now, I do have to ask, where's my alcohol?
What? Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, that. It seemed quite effective, so I'm going to try to make something out of it.
Oh, well, I guess you're welcome. Go crazy?
What you gonna make out of it? A
Well, I
bomb?
don't know yet. I need to study it.
More powerful alcohol.
Given that it seems to have some form of resistance to certain forms of magic, it can. I'm given to understand it can backfire if you try to cast restorative spells on people under its influence.
Ah.
Interesting.
You're very lucky that Sasha was happy to let you all suffer.
Yeah,
Aha.
I could have killed you.
No, you could have
Right.
killed yourself.
So I don't want to study it here in the middle of the city.
Oh, of
No,
course not.
fair.
But
Fair.
once I'm able to figure it out, there could be any number of things I can make from it.
You all looking for lunch?
Yeah, sure, I'm hungry. It's been a long day.
Wait, who are you? Is this the goblin from
Yeah.
before? Oh, okay. Ignore I said that then. I thought it was just a random person turn up. You looking for lunch?
No, you're back.
I mean, do
you're
you
back in the
remember
town.
him?
Look at that. I'll
Yeah,
admit,
it's just
there's-
Sasha Queglod? Is
Currently,
it Sasha and Queglod?
it's everybody but
Yeah, But Malcolm.
it's everybody but Malcolm. at the moment.
What about
Malcolm's on top of Stalag Nest. He'll be down in like a couple hours.
I,
Yeah, if you guys wanted to go to buy stuff. he's
He'll be
here.
gone now.
Oh, he'll be gone.
Now,
He
if
shows
you'll
up when you
excuse
need
me,
him or when he's around. And in this case, he was there when you need him.
But I need him.
You know, does
What
one
for? Oh, I need him.
fair.
Oh, wait. So you're telling me Ozbone's a simulacrum or something?
Or something.
Like that, yeah.
Crap.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
we-
last Dawn Marshal guy.
Maybe we should see him if him and Abad want to like meet up for like, I don't know, drinks or
Are
something.
you going to set up the simulacrums together?
Well, no, I just more meant like, maybe like like a self-help group. Like
So counselling, essentially.
Solus
other.
and I don't know, Solus and Nibbles.
Hmm.
So you're a simulacrum. What next? I just feel like there should be a help group for that.
Elsyan can learn simulacrum, so he can have his own simulacrum be like the therapist.
Good. Yes, I'm liking this idea.
What, multiple Elsyans?
I feel weird about this. I'd rather not.
That is another interesting possibility.
We already have one. Don't need two.
But Sasha will be really happy at night.
Or multiple Sashas.
Oh god,
This is
no.
also true.
If we get enough ruby dust, I can make a shield wall of Sashas. That's the collective noun for Sasha.
Yeah.
A shield wall. I'd have to get the simulacrum. I'd have to make my own simulacrum to make a simulacrum of Sasha to make another simulacrum. It would have to be a long chain of simulacrums, but we can do it.
Keep in
And
mind.
it would end in the world's greatest orgy.
Keep in mind, great. You'd have to armor each of them if you wanted them to do anything.
Hey Sasha, we've got to use for those shields.
Simon just the singular laugh was just like yes.
I'm sorry.
I want it known. We fixed the price on those, and they actually have sold.
Still.
So.
What happened with all the shields?
The shields that Sasha keeps making that for a while she couldn't sell because no one would buy them. I was just taking the piss, to be honest.
The reason was because I have an algorithm which randomly determines how many people buy each depending on a d20 roll, and it didn't count the shields because they didn't have a price. They were technically free, so they weren't coming up on the list. So she never sold any.
What? Because everyone was just taking them for free.
No, because people were they weren't on sale. They didn't have prices, so they didn't come up on the system as being being available. So,
I love the thought of Sasha just scratching their head, just like, why haven't my shields ever sold? It was, and then one day, just someone comes by and says, "You should actually put them out for sale, not just keep them in storage."
I thought they were decorative.
Oh my god.
So, for the next hour or so, you otherwise eat some food. I'll say, Malcom, at this point, you return the rest of your party.
Good. Welcome back.
I have spell scrolls. Elsyan looks down at the large duffel bag next to him. Many spell scrolls.
He has sword. Queglod has alcohol. I'm not going to fight with Queglod to get the alcohol. Queglod can have alcohol.
Thank you.
No
actually,
alcohol
while
tonight.
we're here, Rook, I have something for you. And I'm going to hand Rook the medallion.
Okay.
Since there's very few of us who can't fly at this point, and you really need to be able to get close to things, I figured you could make the best use of this.
How does this work? What is it? Just looking at it. So
you are handed otherwise a silver medallion-like coin with some arcane script kind of rubbed over the top of it, and you just look at it, and it's strange. It feels oddly heavy.
You know the spell fly, right? You've had
that Bern uses frequently.
Yes. This medallion has that magic built into it. It's only a single use, though I can make more. You simply throw it at whatever you want to cast it on, or tap it against yourself, as the case.
Huh. Okay, that's quite useful. Thank you.
Not a problem. I can make more of these, or of other spells, by the way, if people have any requests.
Can you just put a fuck ton of Eldritch Blasts in a... Actually, no, you know what? I've got a great idea for a spell. It's called Shit Your Pants.
How did I know?
What the spell does, you cast it at someone, and they shit their pants.
I mean, it would take the grandeur out of the Prince of Blood doing a evil monologue and he just shat himself.
Oh yeah. He's at his wedding. I guarantee you, he's not going to keep doing the wedding. No, he's going to go to a bathroom and have a panic attack. That's what's going to happen. So, my plan is, I cast my spell, again, shit your pants, on the Prince of Blood.
What happens if he uses
beat him.
What happens if he just resists it?
You can't resist it. It's shit your pants.
No, wait, no.
It's like
Here's the
magic
thing.
missiles up your ass.
Here's the thing. If, let's face it, no one's just going to allow themselves to shit their pants, so if they have some godly ability to just resist a spell, that's a spell they're going to use it on. No one is just going to allow themselves to be stood there soiled.
Oh my goodness! It's like,
I think there's a tactical purpose to this.
how do you get rid of legendary resistances? Mental prison? Nuh-uh. Hold monster?
Shit.
Nuh-uh. Shit your pants.
Shit your
Uh-huh.
Shit your pants. Oh my god.
Oh.
We make that spell and teach it to one of us. So on our first turn, we all go shit your pants.
Yes,
We won't
Chris.
expect.
Oh.
Chris, make it so.
I will not allow it.
Chris, I want it known that you know how I've got a number of spells I need to make.
I might be now enforcing the you need to have your spells be coincided with a word or a series of
Shit.
words.
Your pants.
Shit your pants, one word all.
Yeah, you only ever make one spell in your life. It's that one.
Okay, now there is of course the lower level version of that spell called Piss Your Pants.
Yes.
And the even lower level spell, burp.
That's the cantrip.
Now there's
Yeah,
the
that's okay.
there's the ninth level spell called From Both Ends.
Just makes the character unconscious for a minute. Concentration.
No.
Concent-
It's not called both ends. It's called the Catherine Wheel.
Oh god.
Alright, this has gone to cursed levels of prestidigitation and plane and other dimensions level. So, what would
Because you know that beeping bit you were gonna have.
Uh,
This is it. Whatever it was earlier. No, it's this bit.
So, is there anything you'd like to do with the rest of the day, or shall I start getting through some
Yes,
of the
I'd
time?
like to make this shit your pants spell, please.
Well, no. That was the we were gonna. I was gonna invite people to the Magnificent Mansion for a party. No, to meet the
The Dawn Marshal.
the Dawn Marshal lady, which I forgot the name of, and I feel really bad. Does anyone know the Halfling Dawn Marshal's name?
No. I also need to talk to you all about Prince of Blood, King of Blood, whatever of blood anymore. Just him.
Soiled trousers of blood. Oh
The-
god!
The D-Monarch.
Yeah.
I like D-Monarch, but he's more of a devil than a fiend, isn't he? No, more of a devil than a demon.
That's why it's it's offensive.
Oh, I see.
Oh my god.
So, does anybody happen to know the name of the Halfling Dawn Marshal?
No.
Oh,
Mine
you
is-
should know.
No?
Oh god.
I did have it noted down.
I-
That was
Jiggly
on the
Wizard.
computer.
Oh, I know
Jiggly
what
Wizard.
book it's in. Sorry.
I'm going with Jiggly Wizard.
I'm-
I've got written down, but after you let me squirm sometimes when I can't remember something, I kind of feel that I've got to let this one go.
No, that's entirely fair. Give me a minute. I will find
Uh,
it.
Sorry,
I've-
I'm not
I've-
really paying attention. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my character sheet.
What have you done?
Dawn Marshal Prismatic.
Right. So the amount of my total weight went up for no reason.
In your inventory?
So yeah, it
It's dragons.
when I had all my money, it said that I would like if I put as much money as I had, it goes
Okay.
up to that when I was just barely below my optimal weight.
Right, I think I've got a name. Is it Trisha Bod?
Close enough.
No.
Trisha Bodrin.
Bodrin. Okay, I just didn't write the last bits of the
Yeah.
name.
I mean, your money does account for your weight.
Yeah, I know. Before,
If you mean before
When I
this,
had
that's
this
that's
one-
because I went through your character sheet and I actually meant to mention this to you. I went through and I added weights to things that you hadn't given weights to, such as your Master's Cookbook and the Lantern of Revealing.
I didn't know what the weights were for those. I tried to get them from you, but
Yeah, so I added them. So you're going to need to add some stuff to the bag of holding.
Okay, there we go. So
I
Trish,
had
her
to
name
add
is Trisha
all my
Bodrin.
money.
Oh, Trish.
I prefer Jiggly Wizard, but okay.
Sasha, do not embarrass me. This is my wizard teacher.
So, are you all going?
Do
for
people want to
this?
go? Because
Yeah.
she may be able to give us information on how to awaken the artifacts that we don't know how to awaken, or at least the next step into the awakening. That's the idea. And I believe she did also offer this. So,
Yes, she did.
we all good? Okay then.
Mhm.
I shouldn't cast this in the middle of the tavern.
If you're gonna
Just
cast
maybe-
anything, go to your rooms.
I was just about to say that. Thank you though. Finger guns, and then I walk. Okay, everyone to my room. Man in Sasha's room. Hey, look, we're neighbours.
Oh no. Oh,
Sasha's gonna run and says, "I gotta put things away."
Oh right, everyone, wait a second. Make sure you put that. Yes, that thing away. Yes.
I got it.
Where did we get those? We haven't spent money on those.
We'll
You
put the
guys-
towels in the bathtub, right?
you see what I have to live with? They're right next door. I can hear them through the walls. Through the walls.
Yeah, we can also hear you back, so just remember that next time you throw stones in glass houses.
I am
But we're-
on my own in these rooms.
Exactly.
Yeah, we fucking know.
Oh.
You're not as quiet as you think you are,
That's just because I actively do it against the wall.
dude. Even we try to be a little courteous.
All right,
Don't
this
we
is,
do it
this
on
is,
the
this
opposite
is
wall?
getting to cursed levels of uncomfortable. All right.
You're welcome.
As you go into the room,
TOS.
Elsyan otherwise pulls out the spell book, places it on the ground, and you watch as Elsyan begins to draw his hands in front of him. You watch as he does so. You watch as a doorway begins to form before you. Kind of this. You're going to her tower, correct?
Yes, to her tower to meet with her, not to go to my
Not to
mansion,
yours. Yeah.
my
You see.
palace.
Yeah. You see what looks to be a beautiful set of otherwise classic columns that rise up before kind of branching into this large, overgrown archway at the top of it. You see the area beyond lights up temporarily as the door swings open to a grassy field-like land. As
Oh,
you
if you would kindly follow me.
heading inside, each of you one by one, you find yourself not inside of Stalag Nest anymore, but inside of this massive and otherwise beautiful landscape, covered in grass and a handful of trees and rocks around the area. You look around, there are several wildflowers, varying colours, blues, reds, pinks and yellows. And you see before you, looming over it all and casting a shadow over some of the nearby rocks, is this massive tower that rises up, spiraling and coiling to a point with almost like a chapel or cathedral-like base to it. You see more columns that otherwise rise up to a beautiful archway that is the main door entrance itself, with the exterior otherwise being well decorated. You see a few otherwise low hedge and walled gardens surrounding the lands and vicinity around this area, and beautiful stained glass mosaics otherwise formed across sections of the wall here, creating almost this dancing light-like pattern. You wander forward towards the archway, I assume.
Yes.
As you
Treasure! I brought my friends!
As you wander in, you see that the interior of this is that almost like a cathedral, but the floor, instead of being a marble or stone, is carpet. Long, kind of thick strands of haired carpet, and you see a shoe rack to one side. You see a mat in front of you and a few small bowls of water and towels. You see armor stands to the side of it, as you hear a voice from above say, "It's about time that you all got here. But good to have visitors. Make sure to take off your armor and shoes. Get yourself washed off before you come in."
Don't worry, we'll not expect you to strip naked.
Hmm.
What?
How do I take off my shoes?
I
After
think
I wash my feet.
You kind of watch as a otherwise Trisha begins to float down.
otherwise Trisha.
And otherwise Trisha, you see a almost like this disc below her of kind of like this hardened brass like metal as she otherwise floats down on it and kind of looks over and goes, just wipe your feet and make sure to wipe your hooves and wash them.
Okay.
Before you, each of you kind of seeing her for the first time, with the exception of Elsyan, you see a halfling individual, relatively short, a set of large, otherwise kind of multi-lens specks over her forehead, and you see a number of books otherwise hanging from a belt. All of the books are relatively large for her, but as she otherwise stands on this brass disc which hovers and flies in midair as she otherwise moves closer towards each of you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Trisha, this
Sasha.
is Sasha, Rook, Bern,
Hi.
Malcom, and Queglod.
Nice to meet you.
An interesting bunch.
Hmm.
Looking around, you've acquired a number of powerful artifacts by the looks of it.
Mhm.
Certainly intriguing.
Yeah, well, I only got this one really recently, actually.
We're kind of hoping that you could give us some advice on how to awaken them.
Of course, of course. We'll have some tea and discuss this sort of thing over
Of
some
course.
food. Unless
Wait
you've
a
already
second.
eaten. I don't know what time it is out there at the moment.
I think we have all eaten, haven't we?
Yeah.
I actually didn't grab anything. I had a light lunch.
Okay, some food for Sasha. Wait a minute.
I got
Wait
tea
a
and
minute.
biscuits.
Elsyan just has a thought. Is Farnsworth here, Chris?
As you kind of have that thought and you look over, you see sat over on a small desk within this area, just currently writing down, just scribbling. As he looks up, and you see he otherwise raises a mug of tea, otherwise just takes a sip, places it back down, and continues writing.
Okay, over there, that's Farnsworth, so he told you he was real.
Hey, what? Hey, what?
There's nothing there. What are you on about, Elsyan?
Sasha, don't do this to me.
I'm gonna.
Is
Like-
Farnsworth there?
Yes, he is.
Do the others see him? You see him. He's real.
Guys.
I'm not.
It doesn't matter whether it's real or not. Don't listen to Chris. Just go with it. Pretend that it's not
Oh,
there.
Don't do this to me.
Harlan, try to convey this with a deception check, please. Elsyan, you may roll insight as you are face to face. Everyone else, please roll insight with disadvantage. If you do not meet Sasha's persuasion check total, then you fail.
What on earth am I rolling?
Insight
Wait.
with disadvantage.
Whee!
Okay,
Insight-
so that's your
oh,
that's
goodness.
your persuasion, Sasha. 3.
My deception, you said.
Oh yeah, sorry, deception.
I want it known that my insight is 16.
Okay, so Elsyan, you can tell that she's trying to get everybody else to blend in with this. And I don't think there's a way that anyone else can fail this insight given the total. The DC is 3. Oh, never mind.
Oh, hold on.
Natural one with a -5. What's the insight total?
I have a 2.
Okay, so Malcolm, you're the only one standing there.
Oh my
As you look at Sasha, who's being blatantly obvious about this, you look at her and you go, "What are you on about?"
Sasha wants you to pretend you can't see Farnsworth for the sheer sake of fucking with.
I can't... Can I go over there and poke him? Is he
Don't.
real?
Don't poke my butler.
You go over.
I need to make sure he's real.
You go over to where Farnsworth is, as he otherwise looks
Sorry
up.
about this.
Just shake
apologise,
his
sorry.
hand or something.
Poke.
Okay. You poke.
Ah.
As you reach out with your hand, otherwise going to poke a portion of his shoulder, you feel the soft coat that he otherwise wears in a physical form.
He's real.
I
Sorry, I just couldn't. So, Elsyan's been talking about you for the longest time, and we can't see you, so we thought it was just Elsyan being crazy, like normal. But it was like, right, okay, well, obviously it's completely made up. But here you are. You're actually real.
Now. He could have just hired someone to call themselves Farnsworth to fuck with us.
I wouldn't hire someone, then lock them away in a demi-plane.
Yes, you would.
Not even
Yeah.
I'm that much of a bastard.
I mean, this is a magnificent mansion. They'd be thrown out after the duration's over.
That's a fair point.
There's no feasible way to lock someone in here.
Maybe I've
Okay.
simply been casting it every day.
Blink.
I haven't.
Blink
I-
3 times if you've been hired by Elsyan.
I mean, I used to be his butler, and I still am. Technically, he has hired me, but not for what
Yes.
you're talking about.
God damn it.
Sasha, accept it that Farnsworth is real
I
and the
underst-
closest person to a father that I've got.
I understand that you haven't been able to see me, but that is only because when I first existed, I wasn't able to take a physical form. Since then, things have changed.
Got the biggest smile on my
Alright
face.
then. God
Elsyan
damn
said
it.
you make
No,
good
no
tea.
offense.
Can I
I'm very
try your
happy
tea?
with you.
Elsyan said you make good tea. Can I try that?
I will, yes.
Yeah,
If you'll give me a
I was
moment. Busy otherwise.
I was going to ask if you could make tea for everyone, actually, Farnsworth.
He
I would
does a
love
bow.
some.
Yes, sir. He otherwise wanders
Sir.
off.
Elsyan.
I know! It's great! Someone pays me some respect.
Can I have
Even
a
if
look at
I
his
pay
collar?
him.
How flared is his collar right now?
Elsyan's.
Elsyan's collar.
It's been
Very-
expanding the entire time.
Very flared.
It's very flared, and you kind of...
Yes, my collar.
Oh, for God's sake.
Please stop. I can only get so flared.
As
Oh.
you're otherwise there, Trisha just goes, ahem.
Oh, right,
Anyway.
yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Big thing these people saying. Anyway. He hasn't caused any trouble, has he? Just checking.
No, it's been perfectly fine
Good.
and very useful.
I thought he would be. Just making sure.
Yes. Once your own mansion has finished construction, I'm sure you'll be prepared there. But until then, he's been certainly very useful. Helped me with various writings down, scribings, and preparing food. And your friend
he is
Elsyan
very
is not
useful.
wrong. He is good at making a cup of tea.
Yes. But yes, items, artifacts.
Yes. Well, we should discuss this in the upper areas, I think.
Yes, of course.
She otherwise kind of just lifts her hand and snaps her fingers, and all of you feel a sudden jolt as you're all on another floor of this area. You are all currently standing on kind of a harder floor here, stone, it seems like, and as you kind of look down, it's a smooth, almost concrete-like floor here. It's different to the carpeted below, but you see in the center of the room is a immensely expensive and otherwise very beautiful carved stone table. You see a number of wooden chairs that kind of wrap around in various types of wood, it seems. Looking at it, it's a little bit hard to tell, but Malcom, you kind of look at it and you know that some of these look like sycamores and sycamore wood in the way that they've been carved and treated. It's very beautiful in the design. You see cutlery that's been placed around, and you see central candelabras that line the central table. Hanging above are chandeliers, beautiful and made of crystal, otherwise with hanging lights of magical origin hanging down from them, creating this almost prismatic hue that filtrates through the room. You see, on each of the walls of this, it is mostly plain, but you see large, almost runes and glyphs that otherwise coat the inner walls, making an interesting and otherwise very well decorated mosaic or maze pattern. It's very strange and interesting. As you each find yourselves in a seat at this table, as Trisha otherwise looks up and goes, "So, you wanted to know about your artifacts?"
Yes, hopefully, and at least find a way to find out how to awaken them, and to get as much done before the Prince of Blood appears.
Well, yours is fairly simple. Yours needs use. More experience in combat.
What the? Are you talking about the
The
cloak or the book? Okay.
Yours
That-
needs to
that's
get
fine.
used to your kind of magic. You need to use it over and over again until it feels comfortable, after which it'll give you more access. After that, I can't say. It usually depends on the individual after that. Your-
Okay. And what would happen to say a page was taken out of the book?
Then you'd lose the spell.
Okay.
Why? Have you lost a page?
Yes. Lost.
I'm sure you can replace it.
I will be able to. Just need the funds for it, and got a good deal on the other end. Got almost as many skulls as I could carry out of. Are you aware of Ozbone?
She pauses for a moment. If that's... I mean, maybe?
Give me a second.
I
What
knew
was
a guy-
that guy's name?
I knew a guy
I
called
didn't write that.
Ozzy, but...
No. Oh fuck! What was that guy's name? This one I don't have written down.
Kindred, I think.
Sindred. Apparently he's almost a weird simulacrum thing. Sindred.
Yes. Sindred's shadow.
He wanted it, and he offered me a fairly good deal for it, for pretty much as many spell scrolls as I could carry.
Yes, Sindred... Ozzy is the name of Sindred's shadow.
I see.
It's not
His shadow.
Yes.
Simulacrum's the closest thing we know.
As part of his pact and being who he was, his shadow became a separate entity for a short time. If it still is, then I imagine it's been put to good use.
Goes around selling magic stuff. Anyway, so the book just needs use. The Lapis Crescendo.
Place it on the table.
Undoes it and places it on the table.
It looks as though it's been damaged. There are holes and pieces missing. If that's the case, it hasn't regrown them already. You probably just need to give it gemstones of a similar type, and it should accept them.
Just need to give it gemstones. Okay, thank you.
I can't
sounds
say
easy
how
enough,
much
actually.
I can't
Oh,
say
God.
how much it will replace, but
Chris,
your mic.
Mic check.
If you miss out on the bonk, and I am
he
sad.
doesn't do that anymore. He
Do
unplugs
it.
it and plugs it back in.
no,
Bonk it
I
out.
unplug it and plug it back in.
Yeah, what's the
I missed
bonk?
Bonk.
There it is.
You.
You're welcome.
I like how Infernal's is like, give me the bonk I deserve. Thank you.
Go to Horny Joe, Elsyan and Sasha. Bonk.
Bonk.
But yeah,
Okay, we know what Rook does on his own.
it looks as though it's damaged. I can't say how much it'll cost to replace, but some simple gems should do.
Just the knowledge of just replacing the lapis itself should helps me fine. I didn't expect either of these to be too difficult.
No. After that, again, it will be interesting. It'll be different. I know that it used to be very good versus magic, but that's all I really knew.
Noted.
Any others?
Hello.
Hmm?
I just hold up my hammer.
I mean, looking at it, it looks like it's lost its spark.
What?
The all spark.
So, previously it used to glow a little bit brighter back when it was in my company's hands. It doesn't look as hot either. I imagine it's probably lost its spark, so you might need to just try using it. Either as a weapon or as a tool.
I am good with that. Quick question. If it were used to be hotter and brighter, what if I just dunked it in all the divine forges?
I mean, that might work, but... I mean, like I said, these things, when they awaken, are very different from when they attune. And... awakening is something that is usually common between all of them. I was one of the later ones, but I do know that there are differences, and I can see them. It's definitely that way, but after that it becomes personal. So maybe you'll need to do a pilgrimage, but can't say.
I think I'll try working with it first because it just me. It feels like I don't want to just make something ordinary with it because it's like it's Forge Storm. It's like
Yeah.
Make
That's
a
just me.
shield.
Okay, fuck you.
No,
Oh, you love a drill.
a shield might work. You might need to make something either pricey or effective.
To upgrade mine, I made a mithril sword.
Yes, you have Comet Strikers.
Yes.
They look like they've grown.
A bit.
Interesting. They look like they're... She otherwise kind of leaves her seat at the table, wanders around, and kind of looks at your axe and looks at the Comet Strikers.
Yeah, they're made of the same material.
That's not what I mean.
Dust. Oh,
They look like they've almost fused. In a weird way. There's residual energy connecting the two of them.
Huh. Oh.
It might be that that's your personal touch. They'll do something. They'll awaken or ascend when whatever you're finished with your axe.
okay then. Oh, so kill the Prince of Blood potentially then.
Sure.
Excellent. Oh, thank
Any
you.
others that wish insight on theirs?
Me, if you could.
She wanders over. Lighthouse. I wasn't too familiar with her weapon. It was already ascended back when I first met her, but it looks like it's missing a branch.
Branch.
It's not doing too bad. But... She inspects it. If it's tied to you, it's some form of personal goal. Something of an achievement, I guess. What is it you do or hope to do?
Well, I turn into dragons.
It's not wrong.
Might be something to do with that then? You might need to, I don't know, become a strong enough dragon. She was very much one for spells, but she was also our leader. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with it.
Maybe when you become king, Malcolm.
Potentially. Again, it's more of a personal goal, so it's possible that it might be tied to that.
I don't know, but I know it does this too, and I break it.
It didn't used to do that. It's definitely added its own personal touch to you then. With that being the case, it'll probably become something new when you finally reach the last part. Well. Is that all? Or do you have other questions that you wish to ask?
It was my understanding that Nightmaker was already fully ascended by this point, but if you have any insight...
It looks different, I'll give it that. It looks better than it used to. I imagine it probably has by the looks of it.
Okay, very good.
Usually these things don't go beyond an ascension. Anything which does is usually a item that comes beyond us, typically. Be coveted by those above, I mean.
Oh.
But I doubt it'll... But our artifacts were made by them, so I doubt they'll get to that point. I do note that you, looking at Bern, you wield Darksbane.
I just received it from him.
I hope it does you good service, especially with whoever this Prince of Blood is.
Yes, that's the reason he loaned it to us.
Osebone's shadow did?
Yes.
Interesting. Not Osebone's shadow. Sindred's shadow. Interesting. Well, if you do ever see Sindren, say hi from me. For now, feel free to relax. I mean, you've got, what, 23 hours and 47 minutes left. And I've got work to attend to, so if you ever wish to go to any other floors, just snap your fingers and say which floor you wish to go to. The 6th floor requires my permission, though, so no going there.
Understood. I don't think any of us really need to stick around here. I mean, the door will be here. Will be in our... Sasha, the door will be in our room for a while.
Okay, I guess.
I mean, I can just dispel it, can't I?
You can, yeah.
That's a castle.
You have cups of tea brought to you. A few of you have neatly made and otherwise well-cut elven bread sandwiches.
Well, while we're here and we're not actually doing anything, I've got like loads of questions. I think we need to think about.
Oh.
Well, I'll leave you to your business, and it's probably a good time to do so. In here, you can't be seen or detected like many others, so I'll leave you to your business. If you need my help, just say my name, and I'll hear you, and I'll come down.
So. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Trisha.
She nods. She snaps her fingers and disappears.
Okay. So, when we get the summons to go and deal with this Prince of Blood issue, to start with, none of us have any idea where this wedding's going to be carried out.
Not at all.
I believe it's somewhere on the material plane, but even that I'm not.
Well, I know where the city is.
Okay.
You know where the city is?
Yes, but I have no idea what it looks like or where in the city.
Okay.
What city?
It's let me find the name.
Making me go and look up names as well now.
Because if we can find the name of the city, we can figure it out. A part of Elsyan just like, okay, we've been to the Barrenlands. Give us an excuse to go to the Elven Kingdom. Give us an excuse.
The city.
I know all the spells now, mother.
God.
Mother, I am here now.
I have cometh. I will destroy thou.
Oh, okay.
You disgusting.
I'm sorry, my mind
actually,
is completely in the gutter today. I do apologise.
No, it's fine. No, it's
The city is known as Gedrak Suvendra.
Yes.
What the what?
Can you type that out, please?
I can copy and paste it.
I had a heart attack trying to think that.
What the fuck is it in my notes?
And this is the city where they'll be appearing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the city which Elsyan. Oh, who here speaks Undercommon?
I do.
Okay, you know that the name of the city in Undercommon otherwise means entangled silks.
Because of course it does.
Fucking dark elves and their silks.
Terratan.
Which makes sense.
Dark spider elves. Spider elves.
Spider elves. Wonderful things.
Oh
I mean, you've heard of the Drider, right?
I have. Do I have a tile for it? Hold on.
The Drider, it's dark elves is almost a punishment, almost not. But it's where they. Okay, what I want you to imagine is a centaur.
But spider.
But dark elf and spider.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
And for some, it's seen as like a horrible punishment. For others, it's an empowerment.
It's an empowerment because it brings them closer to their. I believe it's actually supposed to be a punishment by their goddess Loth.
Yes.
I think
standardly.
it brings them closer to Loth.
That's
Yes,
lore
anyway.
that you've not discovered because you haven't fought them. So yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. That's entirely fair. Sorry, I'm just going in the law. Yeah.
Oh god. What's going on?
Going down.
You're supposed to wear armor. They're supposed to wear sexy spider ladies.
You
Yes,
had
anyway,
questions being
I'll-
asked.
Actually, they technically wear barding.
Oh.
So we think the wedding's gonna take part in that city?
That's where his empress is. Yeah.
That is, I mean, it's a city, so okay. So
It's a
second
big
thing,
paradigm fortress. So.
Okay, he's a dramatic bitch. So we need to look for the biggest, fanciest, most gothic temple around, and that's probably where he's going to be having his wedding.
okay. So how do we plan on getting there?
Yes.
Teleport. Skin scribe.
The skin scribe probably isn't going to come and pick us up. We get a notification and we've got to find our way there.
Oh,
He didn't say he'd come get us. We've got to get there.
right.
And bear in mind, we need to get there, and we need to already be disguised. I will cast Seeming to disguise as Terratan as best as we can, or the Plague Lord's minions.
Yeah, I was going to say, seeming doesn't allow you to change into.
Yeah, I know,
creatures of a
I'm
different
aware.
type, so yeah,
That's what I changed.
too many
but,
legs.
Too many legs.
Okay. So we've got that idea. We don't know where it is really. We don't know how we're going to get in there to start with. We'll get there. All right, fine. All right. So the next question is going well.
Just thinking, he can't get married in a city that's destroyed.
I don't know how that's. How are we going to destroy an entire city?
Okay,
Met
now
us,
hear
right?
me out.
We just need to cut loose in a city and see what
Hear
happens.
me out here. Hear me out here. What if we infiltrate the city like a month in advance, and then through
We
whatever
don't know
means?
when.
We could get
Haste-
summoned tomorrow.
Well, okay, let's go
We're not
quickly.
going to.
And then hastily put through a seemingly innocuous law that technically makes his marriage illegal.
And if he's a devil, they will have to follow that law because devils
They
are
will. Yes.
are magical lawyers. Wonderful. Now, Harlan, as much as I want this to work, it won't. And yes,
I
I know
know a bit
that.
about the law.
It would just be nice.
Going there ahead of time so that we can teleport there easily, although risky, may be
idea.
an option.
Yeah.
Hmm.
and it means one of us would be out of a 7th level spell slot when we got there.
It's true.
At least,
Bern,
or at most. To be honest. If we're using teleportation circle, we may get. No, because you have to go to another circle, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unless you want to like make a magic a spell scroll specifically for this.
okay, because so Bern, how do you know where it was? The city, or the name of the city?
Well, my organization attacked it.
So, is there a chance we could teleport to proximity of your organization and then get there? It would get us most of the way there.
How close could I teleport us, Chris?
You've never been to the city. You'd have to ask them to
Yeah.
find out.
Okay.
I'm afraid I have to head off, guys.
Yeah,
fine.
I did running a headache.
But have a nice night, all.
Oh.
Also, Chris, you may be interested to know, I did in fact win the quiz. So, whoa.
Good to know. Yeah. Well, what we'll probably do is we'll call it there, and you can continue the questions next time if that's okay, Rook.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Also means you will hopefully all have more energy in you, and you can talk
Yes.
about this with a serious mind that isn't jammed into the cesspit of where your head is.
Are you gonna read the item now, or?
Chris, I'm
Oh
Chris,
yes,
I'm
I
sorry.
will
How do you
quickly.
know?
I will read the item now, and I will send you the description for it. But Alright, I'm going to send it to you first, Infernal, so you can have a little look through, and then
Chris.
you can wheeze a bit.
Chris, before I go, I will pay you literal, actual money if you let me make the shit your pants spell.
No, I will not let it happen.
Harlan, as much as I'd say this, you're a DM in your own campaign. You can make the spell.
Okay.
So, I will read out Darksbane. A deep shadow-coloured longsword covered in carved runes. The hilt is fluted with feather-like design, and a grand ruby studded into the pommel. This is a +3 longsword. While attuned to this, you critically hit on 19s and 20s, and when you critically hit a fiend or undead, the creature takes 40 points of extra points of necrotic damage, bypassing ordinary resistances. If this reduces a creature to 0 hit points, they cannot regain hit points for 2 rounds of combat. This blade also has 3 charges. You may expend one of these charges to cast Banishing Smite. If this blade reaches 0 charges, it will work only as a +3 longsword.
Okay, that's
When
nice.
does it regain
I'm
charges?
assuming the
It regains charges at dawn. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't add that
Really
bit.
cool.
But, yeah.
Night.
Alright.
Alright.
See you later, Harlan.
Yes, and for the stream, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. We will see you next week, where we will go through more, where we will be they will otherwise be discussing. And what I'm probably going to do is skip through the rest of the time skip, because otherwise this is going to take forever. You've done your main things. We'll go from there. Alright, so thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye.